AM and 98.5 FM.
Welcome to the Hutchinson Salthawk Football Pregame Show. We'll give you the ins and outs of tonight's game, plus lots of other useful or useless information. It's all in how you look at it. Now, settle back and get set to enjoy this week's Hutchinson Salthawk Football Pregame Show.
Hi, everybody. It's time for the Salthawk Football Pregame Show. I'm Glenn Grunwald, joined by Dan Nacarado. We're in Salina tonight at Salina Stadium, getting set to take on Salina South and see if we can bounce back from that tough loss to Andover last week. But a pretty good night for football by way of how the weather is, Dan, and here we are in Salina.
In Salina, it's a great night for football.
That is correct. It is a great night for football, and we are on the road, and we're going to try to shake off the feelings of that we've had all week long after that tough loss to Andover last week. A substitution game. Let's go back in time a little bit. We were supposed to travel to Derby, but Derby broke out with COVID-19. We were unable to make that scheduled trip to Derby, but instead we put Andover in its place, and Andover ended up being a tough loss for the Salthawks, their first of the season, at the score of 14-7. And that was just a dogfight we ended up being in at Andover. And give credit to Andover. They're a good football team.
Andover is a good football team, and even though their record was 2-2 coming in, they had played well in all four games, and they were a tough opponent. We knew that it would be tough to score points. We thought going into that game it would be more of a defensive struggle, and it actually turned out to be the case.
Let's talk about a little recap of that game very quickly, as Hutchinson was able to get on top at 7-0, and then it was tied up at 7-7, and we had an opportunity to take a lead of 14-7, maybe even more if we go for two in that situation, but probably not. We probably kicked the extra point. Took it all the way down to the 2-yard line on a catch by Peterson, but then we had penalties and a missed field goal happened to us, and we just weren't able to get over the hump there. We had another opportunity to late in the game, and through the interception that would have had an opportunity to drive down. But again, Andover had a great running back and just took it to us the other night.
Got to give Andover credit. Hutchinson has been in 4 close games leading up to that one and found a way to win all 4 of them. And this on last Friday night, it was another close game, and it just went the other way. But you're right, Max Middleton gained almost 100 yards, scored what proved to be the game-winning touchdown with about 4 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. Hutchinson had their chances, but it was one of those games where Hutchinson turned the ball over 3 times. I believe Hutchinson committed 10 penalties in that game, which is very uncharacteristic of a Salthawk football team. And you mentioned the series where the Salthawks got it down 1st and goal at the 2 in the fourth quarter with the score tied. You expect that they're going to score, but unfortunately, through a series of events, they went backwards, attempted a 28-yard field goal on 4th down that didn't quite get between the uprights. Then Andover took over possession on their own 20, drove down the field, and give them credit again. It was a very impressive drive from their own 20. And they put it in the end zone with about 4 minutes to play to go ahead 14-7. Hutchinson had another chance, and they looked pretty good the first few plays, trying to go down and either tie it up or possibly win the game on a 2-point conversion try. But Andover came up with the big interception, and that pretty much ended the game.
Talking to Jalen Barlow at the freshman and JV game on Monday night, and he felt like maybe his teammates and himself just a little bit over. Attitude was kind of like, hey, this is going to be a pretty easy game to win, and found out it was not. And anytime you put yourself in a position like that, it might have been a learning situation for him.
Well, there aren't hardly any gimmies in the AVCTL, and even though Andover is in Division II and Hutchinson is in Division I, the truth is there's not a huge separation between 5A and 6A. There's not a huge separation between Division I and Division II.
No doubt about that. So, and Andover had been in some close games with Mays and some other close games that we looked at. Their 2-2 record was very deceiving.
So now they go to 3-2, and Hutchinson is 4-1, and those records look fairly comparable now.
Exactly. And here we are at Salina playing a 1-3 team. Salina South did not play last week because they had a scheduled game with Derby, and again the COVID-19 carried over for Derby as well. They did play Mays last week. Excuse me. They did play Mays and get done pretty good. The week before they were to play Derby, did not. So they're coming off a tough loss.
Salina South has a very impressive history if you go back in time. Coach Sam Sellers, who, by the way, might be the tallest coach that we'll see all season. Sam Sellers is a big man and a good man. He had Salina South in the state championship game in 2014. You go back a little bit earlier, they win state championships in the year 2000 and the year 2004. It's a program that has been very, very impressive for many years. But the last few years, they've struggled to find wins. And this year, they're giving up an average of 50 points a game. And when you're giving up 50 points a game, it's tough to come away with wins.
Yeah, they and Salina Central, their arch rivals within the same town, share the same stadium actually as well. And they won't play Central till late last game in the regular season. So that's always a kind of the bragging rights for Salina to some extent. But you're exactly right. They're kind of on hard times at 1-3. They lost to Mays 58-13, but they do have a couple players that stand out. We'll talk about those in just a little bit. But they're hungry to get Hutchinson's number, and they're going to be out there playing the Salthawks tonight.
Hutchinson does have a 5-game win streak dating back to 2015. So Hutchinson has competed very well against Salina South for the last 5 years, and they hope to continue that tonight.
We're going to take a timeout. We'll come back and talk about the matchup between Salina South and the Salthawks. We'll be back with more right after this.
Hey, honey, is this your course schedule for the fall?
Yep.
Let me see here. English, good. Chemistry, trigonometry, excellent. World history, I love world history. Baseball. Wait, baseball? Baseball isn't a course, honey.
Well, sure it is, Mom. High school sports are about so much more than winning and losing. They teach lessons that can't be taught in a classroom, like accountability and self-discipline, the value of teamwork. I may not be earning a grade, but I'm learning how to compete later in life. Isn't that what getting a good education is all about?
Yes, of course it is. I was just testing you.
What can teenagers here in Kansas learn from participating in high school sports? Plenty, as it turns out. That's why they're called education-based athletics.
High school sports. There's so much more than just a game.
This message presented by the Kansas State High School Activities Association and the Kansas Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Welcome back to Salina Stadium in Salina, Kansas. Glenn Grunwald along with Dan Nacarado on the pregame show, getting set to take on the Salina South Cougars. And again, this has always been a good ball game between these two clubs, and expect nothing less of that tonight.
We do expect it to be a good night, and again, there are no gimmies. You got to be prepared to play against anybody who lines up against you. You'd have to say that Hutchinson is the heavy favorite in tonight's contest, but a lot of crazy things happen in high school football.
Now, injury-wise, so what we know is we're without Isaiah Phillips. He had a meniscus tear, and we'll be getting surgery on that. So that's the only injury that you and I know of, and that's kind of been a knock on wood, pretty good situation this year. For the Salthawks, we had a couple little illnesses that hit us early on also. We had the quarantine that hit a couple players. But all in all, we're pretty healthy coming into this contest.
Yeah, let's keep that rolling. We don't want to jinx that. But these Hutchinson Salthawks have avoided injury, and you just hope that continues.
A couple players from South kind of jump out at you on film.
They do, especially number 26, Brant Cox. He is 6'2", 203-pound junior who plays running back on offense and is a defensive back on defense. And he's kind of special. He can break a long one. As a matter of fact, he ran for about a 72-yard touchdown run last week against Mays. Mm-hmm. And he's a guy that if you don't contain him, he can do some damage to your team.
They also have a pretty good wide receiver as well in the mix.
They do. He wears number 7, Jackson Hayes. He is a senior wide receiver and also plays some defensive back. And Salina South is a team that does throw the ball frequently. By comparison, if you don't count the Garden City game when Hutchinson threw 18 passes in a single game, in the rest of the games, Hutchinson has been throwing the ball maybe once out of every 6 to 8 plays. Salina South will throw the ball about every other play. And that's just part of their thing. They run out of the shotgun. When you put a running back behind the quarterback in the shotgun formation, we call that the pistol. And Salina South will be in the pistol formation probably more than half the time tonight.
Probably about 60% of the time, and they're able to go out of the run with that as well as also in the passing situation. So we'll see a lot of that. Defensive backs and also some coverage for our linebackers are going to be concerned.
Salina South has thrown a lot of passes, and they've thrown some interceptions. So it's one of those games where if you're a defensive back, your eyes get kind of big, and you think, man, this is my opportunity. If that ball's in the air, I'm going to go claim it.
We talked about the offense of Salina South. Let's talk about the defense a little bit. They lost their first game to McPherson 45-25, so gave up 45 points in that game. Lost to Mays South 62-6, and then got a win over Hayesville campus 55-35, and then did not play Derby due to the cancellation and lost to Mays 58-13. So they've given up some points this year.
They really have given up a lot of points. They're averaging about 25 points a game on offense, but they're giving up about 50 points a game defensively. So when you look at that, you kind of hope it's a night that Hutchinson can move up and down the field.
Kind of a strange situation because coming on Monday, it will be the freshmen and our JVs always have their game against the team you just played. South will not field a freshman team. They canceled that game. It's been substituted with Eisenhower coming in. We'll talk more about in the regular broadcast about the Eisenhower freshmen will play on Monday against Hutch High. And then the Salina South JV will play against Hutch High's JV. They've had a tough time, Dan, kind of fielding football teams up in Salina. That's kind of a rarity. It
really is strange when you look back at the proud history of football at Salina South and Salina Central that both teams fell off dramatically during the last few years, and their participation has also fallen off. Salina South only has 12 seniors on their roster this year. That compares to, 27 or 30 seniors?
Close to 30, yeah.
So, close to, I think it is 30 seniors on Hutchinson's varsity team. So I'm guessing that they probably just didn't have very many numbers on their freshman team. So they'll probably work some of those freshmen into the JV game on Monday.
More than likely, that's what's going to take place. Maybe not enough to even come close to fielding. That was kind of how Andover was on their freshman count. They had, of course, 11 on the field. They had maybe about 3 reserves, all they had. They did not have a very deep roster. And sometimes that happens where kids decide when they're sophomore that they're going to go after football and kind of get into the swing a little bit. But kind of a rarity for Salina to not have that many underclassmen participation.
But my goodness, what a fantastic job you did with the live stream. Well, and it's a pretty special opportunity for freshmen to get their game out there on the internet on HutchPost.com and also the JV game. And I think you got quite a few viewers on that.
Yeah, we did. We had over 1,000 viewers for the JV game and 748 for the and it might be more than that by now for the JV game, freshman game with 1,000 and I think 75 at the time. So it avails, even though they're not allowing fans, it avails the parents and everybody and grandparents and families out of town that don't live here to be able to see these kids as freshmen. Plus, we can put a little highlight tape together for the freshmen, and that's on Facebook and YouTube as well. So you can find that if you go to the YouTube channel.
I just so much appreciate your willingness to apply your skills in that endeavor, because it is kind of cool to be able to watch the freshmen and the JV, not only for the Hutchinson fans, but for the visiting team.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Their families get to see it too.
You bet. Let's take a time out. We'll come back and check the keys to the game as the Hutchinson takes on Salina South tonight in Salina. We'll be right back.
I loved playing high school sports. I loved the competition, the camaraderie, the bands, the crowds, all the pageantry, and I wanted to keep playing. But I graduated. No colleges called, and neither did the pros. So, to stay close to the game I loved, I decided to become a high school official. A referee. When I played high school sports, I learned the importance of integrity, good sportsmanship, and respect for the rules. Now, as a high school official, I get to help model these same values to others. Maybe the colleges and the pros didn't call, but the kids in Kansas did. And now, I'm enjoying the competition, the camaraderie, the bands, the crowds, and all the pageantry of high school sports all over again.
This message presented by the Kansas State High School Activities Association and the Kansas Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Welcome back. Chatting with Dan Nacarado about the upcoming game between Salina South and Hutchinson. Pretty important game, Dan, to give back in the win column for both teams, actually. Of course, we're pulling for Hutchinson because we're the hometown broadcast team, but pretty important for the Salthawks to get that taste of that loss out of their mouths and play pretty good football tonight.
It's a bounce-back week for the Hutchinson Salthawks, who are 4-1, have a great opportunity to go 5-1 tonight, and then on the schedule next week face a campus team that does not have any wins, and they got bit by that COVID-19 bug and haven't been able to play for a couple of weeks. So if Hutchinson can get on the right track again tonight, it's a very likely possibility to be 6-1 going into that last regular season game against Mays.
Okay, and keys to the game, how's Hutch going to do that?
Hutchinson has got to hold on to the football. It's tough to win games when you turn the ball over 3 times, and that's what happened at Andover. So Hutchinson, really, they have to be their own best friend tonight. They got to hang on to that football, because if they hang on to the football, they are going to gain yards and put points on the board tonight. So offensively, just hang on to the football. Defensively, clean up the penalties, clean up the encroachments, clean up the type things that give your opponent some extra chances.
Those encroachments and blocking the backs came at inopportune times last week in droves.
They did. As a matter of fact, I think Hutchinson committed 10 penalties last week, and that is not going to happen again tonight, in my opinion. And then the other thing defensively is just make sure you don't let number 26, Brant Cox, get out in the open field to where he can, run for 50-yard touchdown runs or something like that. So if you hang on to the football, clean up the penalties, stop number 26, Brant Cox, get to go home and celebrate another win.
Yes, we will see. And if you're on the other side of the ball and you're looking at Hutchinson, what does South have to do?
South, they have a tough time with time of possession because they throw so many passes, and about half of those passes are going to be incomplete passes that stop the clock. So Salina South needs to find a way to get some sustained drives going to where they don't let Hutchinson's offense back on the field so quickly. And part of the reason that opponents are putting up so many points against Salina South this year is they're throwing quite a few interceptions, and they're giving their opponents some short fields to work with.
No doubt about that. Dan, do you realize after the nice ball game, we're 3/4 of the way through the regular season already?
I hadn't really thought about it in those terms, but, as I've mentioned to our fans before, the way I've always looked at a season is I start it when you start practicing, which is 3 weeks before your first game. So if you look at it in those terms, we're really deep into the season now.
And, of course, with 2 home games in front of us, and then right now it looks like Hutch will have a home first-round playoff, possibly a home game on that if we keep our winning ways going. So that would be a good thing that we haven't seen for a couple years.
I'm going to just go out on a limb and say plan on it that Hutchinson will host a playoff game.
That'll be that first Friday in November, so that's a good chance of that. We'll talk more during the regular broadcast about where Hutchinson stands. Last time I looked on the west side in 5A, we were in 4th place with that 1 loss, and there's the 3 undefeated teams in front of us, so they break it out like that. And they're doing the playoffs similar to how they've always done them, but with a little bit of a different twist by way of the points and also the head-to-head competition. We could turn right around and play the South team possibly again.
Well, you got to do the winning percentage because so many teams have not been able to play their full schedule this
South's
season.
One of those.
And South is one of those, that's right. But, I think it's highly likely to plan on seeing the Salthawks play at Gowan Stadium twice after they're into the regular season.
Let's not get too far in front of us because we got this ball game and then we got 2 home games coming up, 2 big home games coming up. But right now the focus needs to be on the South Cougar.
One step at a time. Good advice. Brick by brick.
No doubt about that. Thanks to Dan Nacarado as always. Appreciate it, Coach Knack.
My pleasure.
Looking forward to the broadcast coming up. So we will have on the sidelines tonight, by the way, Randy McKay. We'll check in with him a little bit, check the weather conditions. Sarah Peterson up in the booth with us doing the live stream. So glad to have you along. If you're tuning in by radio and you want to watch it on the stream, just go to HutchPost.com. The link will take you to the TV or the video part of it. as well, or stay with us on the radio or go to Alexa. You can go to TuneIn Radio. There's very many ways. I really like the new KWBW app that you can also go right over to the menu, fall down to sports, and pick up the stream right there and watch it on your phone as well. So it's real easy to do.
And you can also use that app if you're driving home from a road game. Just pipe that right through your car radio, and it's crystal clear, and you can listen.
Post-game.
That's right.
No doubt about that. All right, we're going to get set to get going here as we're at South Stadium at the Salina South Stadium, Salina Stadium in Salina. We'll get set for the game between Salina South and Hutchinson. We'll be back with the regular pregame coming your way in just a little bit.
Thanks for listening to the Hutchinson Salthawk Football Pregame Show. Join us 30 minutes prior to each and every Salthawk game, each week throughout the entire football season. Kickoff is just minutes away, so stay tuned, and thanks again for listening.
Looking for future leaders we can trust and believe in? Look no further than the high school student athletes right here in Kansas. High school sports teach young people how to be effective leaders. It begins by making their grades and being on time for practice. It includes learning to listen, following directions, accepting responsibility, being a good role model. And it's about respect for officials, opponents, the rules, and each other. The result? It transcends sports. It gives us hope for the future. High school sports. There's so much more than just a game. This message presented by the Kansas State High School Activities Association and the Kansas Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
It's time for Hutchinson Salthawk Sports on BW Radio. This broadcast is brought to you in part by First National Bank, H&R Block, Pools Plus, and the Medicine Shop. Salthawk Sports is also brought to you by these Salthawk Boosters, Jackson Meat, Wynn Insurance Group, and Summit Surgical of Hutchinson. Sideline reports brought to you by Jackson Meat and Papa John's Pizza. Now your host for Salthawk Sports, Glenn Grunwald.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Salina, Kansas. We're at Salina Stadium. I'm Glenn Grunwald, joined by Dan Nacarado, and I've got a pretty good group of faithful Salthawk fans on the far side. Social distancing, as this is an Arcs Valley Chisholm Trail League game, but the difference is the health department in Salina, or Saline County, is allowing more folks to come. And Dan, looks like it's going to be a lot of fun tonight.
It's going to be a great night for football, Glenn.
No doubt about it. And we're going to check on the sidelines and go down to Randy McKay and check exactly if he's ready for tonight as he's filling in for Joe Blake. Randy, are you ready for some football?
I'll tell you what, I am ready for some football. It's been a long time since I've been to a game here at the Salina Stadium, and just kind of an idea of how long ago it was. It was a Salina Central, Salina South football game back when Terrence Newman.
Oh, my goodness.
Remember,
he's already retired.
Yeah, and he played for Salina South. So there you go. That's how long it's been. Weather-wise, beautiful night for football. Wind was blowing a little bit, but here on the south end, I'm standing about the south 20-yard line. The wind from the south, but there's enough blockage on the south of us here to knock the wind down a little bit. So wind may not be much of a factor here this evening.
Game time temperature right now is 83 degrees. The wind is directly out of the south at about 9 miles per hour. Now, it doesn't look like there's any gusts, so I think you're pretty correct. In hourly temperatures, by the time we get deep into this ball game, which will be about 8 p.m., it'll be about 75 degrees. It'll be absolutely perfect for you down there. By the way, you're sponsored by Jackson Meat as well as Papa John's Pizza. Glad to have you along tonight, Randy.
Well, thank you, and I thank the sponsors for allowing me to be down here.
No doubt about that. So, Dan, your expectations of this ball game, and by the way, we're going to talk with Ken Stonebreaker at halftime. He's the activities director at Salina South. What I want to chat with him, he's on the executive board of the Kansas State High School Activities Association. They had a lot of decisions they had to make back in August and September.
They've been very busy, and they've been second-guessed a lot of times, and they just have to do the best they can and keep moving forward.
I'm not going to put him in the hot seat, but we do want to talk about playoff criteria and how they're going to figure that out because and see exactly. I think most of the school districts now, with the exception of when they have a COVID-19 breakout, are playing football right now in the state of Kansas.
That's right, but when we get to the end of Week 8, there will be different number of games played by different teams within each classification. In 5A, you've got some teams that have missed a couple of games. got some teams that have played them all. So they're going to have to look at win percentage as part of the criteria this year rather than just strictly looking at the number of wins.
There was some Wichita City League games that were played on Thursday even that took place. So they're getting them in. We're getting them in for sure. And, again, there's some important games around the league tonight as well. Derby's back in action, and I think they'll be in action tonight as well. So
Campus.
And they're taking on Campus.
Yeah, Campus also missed a couple of games due to quarantines.
And we will match up against Campus. But first things first, we take on South tonight. And we pretty well covered it in the pregame in case people did miss the pregame show. That starts at 6:30 each and every football night. This is a team that is struggling somewhat. They're 1-3. They got whooped pretty good by Mays last week. But we just have to see what kind of team is going to be put on the field here. But with Salina South.
Salina South was scheduled to play Derby on September 25, and that was one of the games Derby could not play due to COVID-19 concerns. So Salina South is short one game. They're 1-3. Hutchinson is 4-1. And Salina South is giving up 50 points a game so far this season in those 4 games they've played. They do throw the ball a lot offensively. As a matter of fact, they throw the ball 56% of the snaps. They have been throwing quite a few interceptions in those first 4 games. So look for the linebackers and the defensive secondary for Hutchinson to try to cash in on some takeaways.
Neither team out of the dressing rooms as of yet. As a matter of fact, they put Hutchinson in a different dressing room than usual. They put him over in basically the basketball dressing rooms along with the gym so they could stretch out a little bit more. So that's a little bit different than other years when we've been here.
Yeah, that's a bigger area for them to spread out, but unfortunately for Hutchinson, usually the locker room is just right at the north end of the end zone, and you're right there on the field when you come out. And normally you really like that locker room that they have here at Salina Stadium. So they have to walk a little bit further tonight.
This team, by the way, has 5 starters back from last season, and they lost the 2 twins, the Baird twins, who were real good linebackers, Charlie and Drew Baird. They also lost a couple others that are playing some college ball right now. One of them out of Fort Hays State, Kobe Ratcliffe. So they've lost some pretty good players, and they've been down in the last couple of years, and we can relate to that a little bit.
Yeah, this year there's only 12 seniors on the Salina South roster. By comparison, Hutchinson has 30 seniors in their football program.
Hutchinson's series history, 16-3. This is the 20th meeting between these two clubs, and Hutchinson has won the last 5. Last loss was back in 2014, 27-21. I remember that. That was really a kind of a surprise loss for the Salthawks that night. But we'll see what's going to take place. This unofficially, at least in the regular season, well, it is officially in the regular season, our last road trip until we possibly, when we hit the playoffs, we'll see what's going to happen. But right now, it looks like Hutchinson will host a hometown game, a home field game that first round, maybe 2.
Mark your calendar and count on hosting at least 1 playoff game this season. That would take place on October 30.
Oh, the Ghosting Goblins will be out. There's no doubt about that. Hey, let's take a 1-minute timeout. We'll come back as they do the coin flip. Randy will have his nose in there to see what's going on there. We'll take a break. We'll be back with more from Salina South in 60 seconds.
Hutchinson High School sports is on the air thanks to these outstanding Salthawk boosters. Portfolio Recovery Associates of Hutchinson, Dr. Randy Smith of Appalachian Animal Hospital, the Wynn Insurance Group of Hutchinson, Summit Surgical, the Hutchinson Clinic, the Medicine Shop, and Jackson Meat. Hutchinson High School and Eagle Radio Sports thank these Salthawk boosters for their continued support of Hutchinson High School athletics.
Hutchinson Community College and Blue Dragon Athletics are proud to support the Hutchinson Salthawks. Whether you're working towards your degree or are a busy working individual with limited time to attend class, Hutch CC has what you're looking for. And for those still in high school, Hutchinson Community College's Step Ahead program provides a head start on a quality education, and it may not cost the student anything. Visit hutchcc.edu or call 888-GO-HUTCH for more details. And good luck this season to the Salthawks.
Randy, it looks like the Salthawks won the toss and deferred to the second half. Is that what you read down there?
Yeah, that is absolutely correct. So they will be kicking off from the south end and kicking to the north.
Coach Knack, that's, in my opinion, I think that's about the third straight game that has happened.
Better take those Hutchinson captains to a casino with you and roll some dice.
No doubt about that. So Hutchinson will kick off, and they will tow the football, and we're about set to get underway. So glad to have you along tonight. And, of course, you can listen to us on the KWBW on the radio, online at kwbwradio.com. You can click on Alexa. Matter of fact, that's about one of the better ways to get it. Just program Alexa in as one of the skills, or you can just say play KWBW radio, and also a couple other opportunities. Tune in radio, a couple different ways to get us. And tonight also on HutchPost.com, Sarah Peterson doing a wonderful video photography tonight, and she's really received a lot of compliments throughout the season about what a good job that she is doing. We are hardwired tonight, so we're in pretty good shape for our wideband. And by the way, congratulations to Idea Tech, as they just landed a $13.7 million broadband contract. So you should be in Reno County should be getting some better internet coming your way. There's a little bit of a hesitation. We'll see what everybody's holding up.
Just waiting for the pregame clock to go to zeros.
I think that's going to be it. So we're about set to get underway. It looks like it is going to be Jackson Hayes back deep. He's a senior back to receive. And Martinez will get set to tow it off, and we're about set to get underway. A beautiful night for football, as Randy just indicated, 83 degrees. It is really nice out here, and the sun's starting to set, so a little bit of a breeze up here at least. Here comes the tow by Martinez. It's going to be taken by one of the up-backs, and they're going to carry it out to about the 30-yard line. Get some room just short of the 40-yard line. Close. Might have been a loose football, and I think it will be Hutchinson hanging on to it. So Cox with the return.
He's one of their best players. I was about to say prior to kickoff, don't kick it to number 26. You don't want the ball in his hands, but that's who got it. And Salina South starts out on their own 41 with excellent field position.
Cox is a good one. A junior, 6'2", 203. He's running back and defensive back. So they'll go with the pistol formation like Coach Knack explained in the pregame. Freeze the quarterback. Weston Freeze, where's number 12? Wants to throw the football. He'll air it out. Has a receiver out deep and a lot of contact, but no call made. Nice coverage out there by Hennehaw.
Maddox Hennehaw running stride for stride. Would have been nearly impossible to complete that pass with that kind of coverage.
The wideout started to put his hands up in the air like he might have been getting interfered with. Was not the case.
It was intended for Colin Schreiber, 6'4" senior. They'll look for him frequently throughout the game.
So it brings up a 2nd down and 10 situation for the South Cougars. Again, they renovated this press box, and there's a run by Cox on the outside to the right. He's going to carry just short of the 50-yard line. And Cox is knocked out of bounds over there. Harver came over to get a lick on him, and it's not quite a first down, short by about a yard, yard and a half. We'll call it 2nd down and 2. So there was Cox running with the football. Hutchinson with a 3-man front. As Freeze looks over to his bench, now he looks back in the backfield. Cox directly behind him. Trips to the left side. The hold to give to Cox, straight away running, and he's going to be held up short of the first down, right at the 50-yard line. Nice job by Hutchinson, that defensive front 3. Great job in there by the Salthawks.
Cox continued to struggle for extra yardage after the contact. Go ahead, Randy.
Auber was in on the initial hit and just would not let go of Cox to keep him from getting that first down.
But he actually did pick it up.
Yeah, he did get the first down. So thought he was going to be short, but enough of a forward progress to make it happen. There's the throw on the outside. The catch is made, and a pickup of about 5 yards. A catch out there by Jackson Hayes.
Jackson Hayes, another one of the feature receivers in the Salina South Cougar offense.
2nd down, and we'll say 6. 2nd and 6 inside of Salthawk territory, right at the 45-yard line. They've got to get to the 39 for the first down. So 2nd down and 6. Freeze the quarterback. Turns and throws it out in the flat on and dropped. Incomplete pass out there with good coverage was the Salthawks. And Schreiber was the intended receiver. So it brings up a 3rd down and 6 situation, more than likely a passing down for Salina South, As they do throw, as you explained, Dan, they throw a lot if they possibly can get away with it. The throw and the catch is made for the 1st down. Randy, that happened right in front of you. Let's take a look at it. He was open, kind of slid and grabbed the ball.
Yeah, the pass was a little bit low, but he went down to pick it up just off of the grass, and then he juggled a little bit, but still hung on to it.
Brendan McGee's comments from the sideline, again brought to you by Jackson Mead as well as Papa John's Pizza. Trying to get it inside and back to the original line of scrimmage on the carry, Cox. So that'll be a loss of about a half a yard. We'll call it 1. 2nd down and 11 now.
Jack Hover and Hunter Stanford in on the tackle. You know, for a 4-1 football team, one of those strange statistics, Hutchinson has actually been outscored in the first quarter so far this season, 31-14.
Played behind on many games. Actually, the Andover games, one of the first times they took the lead early. There's a throw down the field. Cox has got it for the touchdown, and he was wide open, caught it in stride, and that will be from 37 yards out. So, first strike of the night is for the Salina South Cougars. And that came at 9:09 to go in his first quarter of play.
He was wide open running down the left hash mark.
And he caught it in stride to take it in. 6-0 ball game right now. Salina South with the early lead. So that secondary is going to get worked over a little bit. Here's the point after kick. It is up, and it is good. So 7-0 your score. 9:09 to go in the first quarter of play. We'll be back with the Salina South kickoff right after this 30-second timeout.
Welcome to the Hutchinson Medicine Shop. With the emergence of big business, not only in pharmacy, but all industries, the Medicine Shop is proud to be a thriving local business in Hutchinson. We're so thankful to our customers in Hutchinson, Reno County, and Central Kansas for your support. In turn, we're proud to be a major sponsor of the Hutch High Salthawks, as well as other area high schools, the Blue Dragons, Chiefs, Royals, Jayhawks, and Wildcats. You support us, and the Hutchinson Medicine Shop supports local sports.
Well, it didn't take long for the Cougars to get on the board, and 37-yard pass, just a simple goal pattern for Cox as he came out of that backfield and was able to take it down and get the quick score for South. And we were just commenting that last week was one of the first times that we had taken the lead early in the game, 7-0 at Standover, losing it 14-7. So maybe this is, in a strange way, a good omen for Hutchinson to trail 7-0.
Salthawks have certainly been resilient all season, fighting back from deficits in the first quarter time and time again.
Caden Budke will be kicking off. He plays linebacker and quarterback, and he is a freshman. And so he'll toe the football, comes up, and it goes out of bounds at about the 23-yard line. There'll be a flag on the play because it went out of bounds. Kokar came up and took a look at it, but I think Hutchinson will now have it at the 35. No, they'll take it at the 35. Hutchinson elected to take the ball at the 35-yard line. So we'll see the Hutch offense for the first time tonight.
We wish Coach Sean Harper well. He wasn't able to make the trip tonight from Hutchinson. I hope he's listening in on the game. We're thinking of you, Coach. He's the offensive line coach. Travis Thurston will have to handle the quarterback coach and the O-line coaching duties tonight.
Miles Thompson, the quarterback for Hutchinson, has split Peterson out wide on the left side. He's also got Blackwell to give to McEwen. Some positive yards across the 40, spun back. That forward progress will take him to the 41.
Good hole right from the first play of scrimmage. Ragosa, Seitz, Doobie, Kepler, and Fan, that very impressive group of 5 offensive linemen.
McEwen with net yards of 793. That little burst right there puts him very close to 800 yards on the season.
Almost 160 yards a game.
Miles Thompson gives to the first man through, and they stack him up pretty easily, and that was McEwen.
I think he kept it.
Did he? He did keep it. Thompson did keep it.
It's hard to see on that option. It's always kind of tricky to see who kept the ball.
So no gain on the play. 3rd down and 4.
Coach Travis Thurston handling the O-line duties on top of his normal duties. That's a pretty good guy. 4-time state champion O-lineman when he played for the Salthawks.
Hutch will split a wide out on the left side. Thompson on the turn, and he's going to be short of the first down. Picked up about a yard and a half on the play. It'll bring up a 4th down situation. So Hutchinson, the drive has stalled unless they elect to go for it.
Hutchinson has gone for it on 4th down 14 times so far this season.
And Thompson's remaining out there right now, and it looks like they are going to go for it, at least maybe try to draw them off sides.
Right.
That's
they have been successful 8 out of 14 on 4th down conversion attempts.
So Hutchinson with a tight formation, they do. Give it to McEwen, and he's stacked up. No, he doesn't. He keeps churning, and he's still there. He was stopped right at the first down marker, but he kept on going and took it all the way out to the 49.
So make that 9 out of 15 success rate on 4th down conversion attempts. I think any coach would be happy with that. And how about the way McEwen gained an extra 5 yards after 2 Salina South Cougars were hanging on
Let's go to Randy McKay. I'm not even stopped on that.
That's one thing I've noticed about McEwen over this whole year is he runs hard, and you can't stop him just the first time.
Sure can't. 1st and 10, Salthawks on a key 4th down call. Thompson, he'll keep it, turns it up, nothing there. He's stacked up at the 50, the gain of about a yard on the play. He had Kokar out there, maybe could have pitched it, but elected to tuck it and keep it, and picks up only a yard, 2nd down and 9.
Line them up and give it another try. It would have been a dangerous pitch attempt.
It would have.
You hate to turn the ball over, so I'd rather have 2nd and 9 than have to send the defense out onto the field.
That's one thing that I think a lot of teams have identified with the Salthawks is that rocket pitch. And that would not have been a rocket pitch. That would have been a pure option. Here they give the Blackwell. He dances outside, has some room. He's across the 40, has the first down, and all the way deep into South territory to the 35-yard line.
Great call by Mike Vernon and Adam Kroll. Perfect time for a counter.
A little slow developing, but once it gets going, he had plenty of room, a lot of green over there on that right side, and I'm not referring to the Salina South colors, as he took it right down to the 35-yard line.
Salina South has the Green Bay Packer look.
Certainly do. Good-looking uniforms. McEwen squeaks through a hole, has some room, all the way out, picks up about 9 yards. He'll be short of the first down by about a yard and a half. And, I mean, he squeaked through that. It's about like Gale Sayers since he's passing. They talked about, give me 18 inches in just a couple seconds, and I can squeak through there.
Good drive going here by Hutchinson. They took possession at their own 35 with 9:09 to play in the first quarter. There's now 5 minutes, 30 seconds to play. Salina South leads at 7-0.
2nd down and 2 for the Salthawks. Thompson wants to throw it. Arches it up there, has a receiver out there. He goes for it and can't get to it. Incomplete pass. The ball bounces away. The intended receiver was Peterson.
Good coverage out there by Salina South.
Trayton had position but was not able to gather in the pass. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 2 now.
Hugh Hill had the coverage. The 6-foot senior, 168-pounder, ran stride for stride with Trey Peterson.
Peterson splits out wide on the left side, and also have out there Zach Hogan. He gives straightaway running. Not much there for McEwen.
Going to have to try another 4th down conversion.
Grabbed by the jersey and thrown down. His jersey's all the way up over his back protection right there, his back area. So 4th down and 2.
Could be a quarterback sneak. Might be a little bit too far for that.
Peterson, wide right. Hogan will come over and set up in the
It's a rocket toss
slot
formation. Rocket toss to Kokar.
They're on that right hash mark, which kind of makes me nervous, but let's see what happens here. The sneak by Thompson has plenty of room. He's across the 25 and has the first down by a yard.
How about that? Quarterback sneak on 4th and 2, and he picked up 3 yards at least.
With that rocket toss formation, Kokar might have drawn a linebacker just to kind of start to pedal back a little bit, Dan, enough for Thompson to get in. So 1st and 10 now, get the first down from the 25-yard line. 4:28 remaining to go in the first quarter of play. 7-0 South with the lead, but Hutchinson on the drive. Outside Kokar tries to turn it. He's at the line of scrimmage and gets maybe a half a yard. Not much more than that. So the whole host of Salina South defensive players came up to converge on him.
You had a tremendous observation on the last snap, Glenn, that you kind of like to have the ball on the left hash mark to run rocket toss to the right, give that Kokar's speed a little bit more room.
And then again, you can surprise some teams possibly as Kokar can get to the edge. There's the give to McEwen, straight ahead running up to about the 16 or 17-yard line. Let's see where the spot's going to be. They'll mark it right at the, well, not as good as I thought it was going to be. They're going to mark it right at the 19. So 3rd down and 4. Key 3rd down play right here. And Blackwell heading out of the lineup for now.
Blackwell had a nice carry on that counter earlier, and he's always a very reliable lead blocker out of the backfield.
McEwen at that fullback spot. Thompson keeps it, turns it upfield, gets across the 15, works his way. I think he's got the first down. It's going to be close over there. Randy, I'll refer to you. You might have a better angle.
Yeah, by the length of the ball, I think he made it.
Looks like he got it. So 1st and 10, Salthawks. So they move the chains again. This is a nice drive. Started at the 35 of Hutch after the ball was kicked out of bounds by the South Cougars after they had scored. Just under 3 minutes to go.
Good read by Miles Thompson to just keep the ball and turn it up rather than pitch it. This is vintage Salthawk football.
Turn to get to McEwen over the right side. Has some room. Down to the 5, down to the 4, all the way down to the 3-yard line. And it should be a 1st and goal situation for Hutchinson. McEwen with a nice run right there. It'll be 1st and goal. Clock moving away. 2:36 to go in quarter number 1. Hutchinson trailing 7-0. South with the early touchdown pass, a 37-yarder to Cox. Sends a man in motion. The give and just slipping down, I think was McEwen. They'll check that. Barlow had the football, and his feet just came out from underneath him. So it'll bring up a 2nd down and goal.
Wasn't much room for him. That was really well defended by Salina South. He lost a couple of yards back to the 5.
So it'll be a 2nd and goal from the 5 now for Hutchinson. Blackwell back in there now. He'll set up at that left slot. Man in motion, Kokar to give it straight away to McEwen into the end zone. Touchdown, Hutchinson. McEwen from 5 yards out on 2nd down and goal from the Salina South 5-yard line.
Coach Sean Harper, you ought to be proud of the way that offensive line for the Hutchinson Salthawks blocked on that drive that started on their own 35, and they ate up a lot of clock, 9:09 down to 1:52 in the first quarter.
So now it will be the try by Boo for the point after the tie. Here's the hold by Newquist. The kick is on its way. It is up, and it is good, and we're tied at 7 apiece. With 1:52 remaining to go in this first quarter play, we'll await the Hutchinson kickoff when we return in 30 seconds.
The BW Radio Auction is back. Tune in Thursday, 9 until 11. Bargains include a Titan heavy-duty upright vacuum delivered from the Bag Lady valued at $4.99. A Python car starter installed from Innovative Tint and Graphics valued at $3.50. Mobile headlight restoration from Jay-Z Auto Appearance Specialties valued at $50. And certificates from Gambino's Pizza, Holly's Sweet Treats, Jackson Meat, Club Car Wash, and the Sleep Shop and Furniture Gallery. Check kwbwradio.com for the complete list and tune in Thursday, 9 till 11 on BW.
Well, Travis Boo ties it at 7 apiece with 1:52 remaining to go. Again in this first quarter of play. So an entertaining first quarter, Dan Nacarado.
Absolutely, and very clean first quarter up to this point. If my memory is right, I think Boo is now 32 of 34 in his career on extra point attempts.
And those 2 in a row, I remember that he just missed a couple weeks ago, but he was able to. That was against Newton. Here comes the return. Nifty running all the way back to the 30-yard line. Forward progress to about the 32 for Salina South. And Salina South will
tick over. Nice stop downfield by Ben Patterson on the stop.
Ben Patterson does it all for this Hutchinson Salthawk defense and cover teams. He's a good player. Plays Hawk linebacker.
So in 1:45 now to go in this first quarter, 7-7 tie. South struck on a 37-yard pass to Cox from Freeze, and Hutchinson with a 5-yard second down and goal run by McEwen for the scores.
Pistol formation, trips to the right.
Back at it again. The fake on the handoff to try to freeze those linebackers, trying to get someplace, and he will go nowhere. Hutchinson throws him for a loss of about 2 yards. Could have been worse than that as he slid by a couple tacklers, would-be tacklers, and Waymeyer came up to make the stop.
David Waymeyer, and give Jack Hopper a little bit of credit for that sack also. You know, we were talking about Carter Boo. Some of our fans might not realize Carter Boo is a full-time soccer player. He doesn't get a lot of opportunities to practice football, and he's been a very accurate extra point kicker.
Here's the turn to give straightaway running just across the 30-yard line. Hardly anything there for Salina South.
Excellent job by that Salthawk defense. Nowhere to run. 3rd and 11.
Hutchinson stacking it up a little bit.
Final minute of the first quarter. Clock is running.
All tied up at 7 apiece. 46 seconds remaining to go before we exchange end zones. Back to passes Freeze. Wants to go deep. Holds up and really heaves it down. Has a receiver down there. An incomplete pass. It would have been caught if it wouldn't have been excellent coverage down there by Newquist.
Kinzer Newquist had to cover a lot of ground while that ball was in the air. Once the ball was in flight, Kinzer Newquist covered so much ground to get there and break up the pass, because at the release of the pass, Jackson Hayes had no one within 10 yards of him.
He was able to get a hand on the ball and looked like it would have been caught if Newquist wasn't there to make contact and break it up. So 4th down and long in a punting situation. First punt of the ball game for either team, and Brant Cox is going to be back there. He does it all. He's going to punt the football away.
Trey Peterson deep to receive. Again, the main job of the punt receiver, catch the ball in the air so it doesn't bounce another 10 or 15 yards.
Bad snap, but he's going to run it, and he has some room. Hutch is going to try to come up. He'll have the first down across the 50, down to the 40, and finally tripped up at about the 32-yard line of Hutchinson.
I think it might be coming back, though.
Oh, hope so.
There's a flag on the field at the 30-yard line on the near the Hutchinson sideline.
Got the Salina fans up and on their feet, but they're going to groan here in a second because it is coming back. So Hutch got a break there. Cox got a bad snap, decided to run it, had the first down made easily, and it'll be interesting to see where this flag was thrown at and where the infraction took place.
5-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage. So it'll move it back to the Salina South 27.
Illegal formation was the call, so that's a pretty easy one for the officials to pull out, and it'll be 4th down and 15 now for Salina South.
Whole bunch of excitement, but as it turned out, it was just a 5-yard penalty.
Well, he was wide open to get the first down and then plus more yards. Such an entertaining and explosive player. If you're watching the stream, he's number 26 out there. Brant Cox, Jr., 6'2", 203-pounder. Here he gets it away. Peterson comes up and takes it. Took a chance. Going to try to turn the corner over there, and he's going to be knocked out of bounds at about the 45, maybe the 46-yard line. Extremely close for Trayton Peterson, trying to make something out of nothing. And that will take the clock down to 6 seconds. Hutchinson will take over possession at their own 41-yard line with pretty good field position.
Got a quick story for all our listeners. Speaking of exciting plays that end up all being for naught, in 2004, when Hutchinson won the first of those 7 state championships early in the season, the score was 14-7 here at Salina South, and I'll finish the story when we get a chance.
And we'll be back at second quarter here in just a second as Thompson gets set. 6 seconds. It'll go on the snap, and there he goes. He wants to throw the football. Looks up. He has a receiver made, and that's Hayes. Fumbles the football. There's a dive for it. Lots of bodies. Looks like South might have recovered. South will have the football as we head to the second quarter of play after the catch was made and then the fumble After trying to get a few more yards was Hutchinson, as fumbling up on the football was Zach Hogan. We'll take a quick 1 minute timeout. We'll be back for second quarter action from Salina South. We're all tied up at 7 apiece. We'll be back right after this.
It's time to finish your taxes. Whether we filed your extension or not, bring your tax information to H&R Block and let our tax professionals ensure you get every deduction and credit you deserve. And our offices in Hutchinson, Lyons, and Ellsworth are open to assist you. Don't wait to file your tax return and risk penalties for missing the deadline. Make an appointment now and put our expertise to work for you.
Hutchinson High School sports is on the air thanks to these outstanding Salthawk boosters. Portfolio Recovery Associates of Hutchinson, Dr. Randy Smith of Appalachian Animal Hospital, the Wynn Insurance Group of Hutchinson, Summit Surgical, the Hutchinson Clinic, the Medicine Shop, and Jackson Me. Hutchinson High School and Eagle Radio Sports thank these Salthawk boosters for their continued support of Hutchinson High School athletics.
Welcome back. Start of the second quarter of play. Salina South came up with the loose football, Dan, and they'll have the football at their own 43-yard line, 44-yard line, actually. A handoff to Cox. Has some room, gets across midfield, still on his feet, down to the 40-yard line.
Gaping hole open between the tackles.
That'll move the football. What's your story? Can you finish?
The rest of the story is Salina South scored a touchdown that they thought tied up the game in the last minute of the game. They were celebrating like crazy. An offensive lineman injured himself for Salina South celebrating, and the whole play came back for a penalty. The touchdown didn't count.
Wow. Here we're starting the second quarter of play. We're tied at 7. South driving on Hutchinson right now. And all the way down to the 35-yard line on the carry. Picks up about 5 yards. Again, Cox on the carry. Well ago, on Carter Boo's extra point, I credited to his father putting it through, which he could probably do it. Yes, he could. But it was Carter Boo on the point after touchdown event. And right now,
we're keeping it in the family.
Yeah, pistol formation for Salina South. 2nd down and 6. To give to Cox again. He'll be wrapped up, and then he gets away from a couple Salthawks and leans close to the 30. He might have the first down, but it looks like he's a yard short.
Salina South will just keep feeding the ball to Brant Cox until that Salthawk defense forces Salina South to do something else.
Yeah, Randy McKay, he's a good-looking running back and continues to pick up 5+ yards in about every carry.
Yeah, he does, and he runs hard just like McEwen does. And Hobber had a hold of him, and Brant just carried him along with him.
3rd down and short. And I mean less than a half a yard. So let's see if this is a sneak. It won't be not. He's still back in the pistol. Back, gives it to Cox. Wants to go on the outside. He's across the 30 for the first down. Breaks a tackle. Breaks another tackle. All the way down deep into Salthawk territory. Close to the 20-yard line.
Talking to defensive coordinator Scott Yanis before the teams came out to warm up, and he was concerned about number 26 on Salina South. He's a good one. The game plan was to tackle him at the line of scrimmage before he could get into the open field.
Well, they're getting hands and arms on him, but they're not able to break him down. He's a strong runner. They'll mark this ball at the 21-yard line, 1st and 10 for South. They're driving again. They want to throw the ball, freeze with the connection made on the outside, but coverage there by the Salthawks.
Late flag came in from the Hutchinson sideline.
Coming up to make a stop out there was Devin Hackney. And, of course, we know Grandma Hill's down in Texas. Pflugerville, Texas is where she's from. I did some investigation this week. Found out where she's at. Had a personal foul or a flag against Salina South.
Yeah, it was an ineligible receiver downfield for the Cougars.
So that'll back them up a little bit. They're going to put some more time on the clock. 10-13 is what the official indicated. 7-7 tie with 10-13 to go in the second quarter.
One of Freeze's favorite targets, Jackson Hayes, came off the field limping a play ago.
First and 15. Man in motion. Still out of the pistol is Freeze. Then a man in motion comes back. They throw it over on the right side. Kind of a screen play to Cox. He has some room, and he leans forward all the way to the 15-yard line. Got about 10 yards on the carry. It's going to bring up.
Probably coming back.
Second down and 5 unless it comes back.
Another flag in the same spot. Illegal shift this time.
9:55 remaining to go in this second quarter of play.
Salina South is moving the football, but they're their own worst enemy, drawing these penalties. It's going to make it a long way to go for the first down.
They substitute wideouts. They'll send a wideout on the right side and one on the left side. The person on the left is a good one. Jackson Hayes back out there. We saw him. He'll move over to the slot position. Back to pass is Freeze. Here comes the pressure. Across the middle, catch is made and then dropped.
Yeah, that was a pass that should have been caught. Pretty nice play by Weston Freeze to make something out of nothing.
Looked like he was going to have room to run and ends up dropping the football. So it will be a second down and a whole lot of yards. Second and 22 for Freeze. Gives it off to Cox again, and this time he's drugged from behind. Hutch coming up. Ben Patterson latches onto him and makes the stop. So, third down. And about 14 yards to go for the first down. Glenn Grunwald along with Dan Nacarado. Sarah Peterson, the video photographer, up in the booth with us. And Randy McKay on the sidelines, courtesy of Jackson Meat and also Papa John's Pizza. Back to pass again is Freeze, and he's going to be sacked. A big-time sack by Hutchinson.
Nope, he got it away.
And he did get it away. You're right. And it's thrown away out of bounds, but coming and putting pressure on Nolan Cunningham, Dan.
That's the nickel package that Hutchinson, when their defense knows their opponent is in a pretty obvious passing situation, they bring in an extra defensive back, and sometimes they bring a blitz from one of those outside linebacker positions, and that's what happened on that play.
We placed our camera at the open window in between, but what that does to you and I, it doubles up the pane, and it's kind of a tinted pane. There's a pass down, and trying to go to the deep corner left with the football was Freeze. Incomplete pass intended for Schreiber.
Once again, Maddox Hinahaw with fantastic coverage.
And whistle on the play. Let's see what they're going to call. As I did not see. It will be roughing the passer.
That's a bad mistake by Hutchinson. Would have been Hutchinson's ball, 1st and 10, going the other way at the 27, but instead that will advance the ball towards the Hutchinson goal line.
I was watching the receiver and took my eye off the quarterback, and so it's going to be an automatic. Will it be an automatic? Yes, it will.
Yeah. It seems so strange when the fans just all go silent to wait to see what the official is going to call.
Well, and they're doing a good job of social distancing here. Several areas of space between people over here on Salina South sidelines. And it'll mark it off against Hutchinson now deep in the Hutch territory, and it'll be a first down.
That's a key penalty, but this is a resilient Salthawks defense that finds a way to get it done in the face of adversity. So with 1st and goal at the 13-yard, or excuse me, first and 10 at the 13-yard line, the defense is going to have to toughen up.
Freeze in the pistol again.
Watch for Brant Cox.
Yeah, looks back to Cox and says something to him.
I think he said, "I'm giving you the ball."
I think he did too. Here's the turn, and he does give him the ball, but nothing there. It's maybe a gain of a yard or so. No. Doesn't look like it. No gain on the play. Stacked him up right at the line of scrimmage. Maybe even lost a yard.
I think David Waymeyer and Hunter Stanford also knew that Cox was probably going to get the football on that play, Randy.
Yeah, and they were right there for it, and a loss of 3 now against Cox on that
Yeah,
play.
brings up a 2nd down and 13. 8:22 remaining to go in the second quarter of play. Pistol formation for Salina South. The Cougars in tight formation. Both tight ends in tight. They give it off to Cox. Picks up positive yardage all the way back to the 10. So he got what he lost and then picked up a couple more. So big 3rd down call. 3rd and right around 8. Deep down into Hutchinson territory, though. It's going to be right at the 11-yard line. 7:47, clock moving now. Stop because of the spot right there. And they're fixing a helmet on one of these Salthawks. And he got him snapped back up, and we're set to go.
David Waymeyer needed a little equipment pit stop there.
So now the clock gets to moving toward the 7:40 mark. Pistol formation to give to Cox, and he's grabbed from behind and thrown for no gain on the play and perhaps a loss. Great job by Hutchinson's Ben Patterson coming in from behind.
Ben Patterson shot the gap, got into the backfield, made the tackle.
Yeah, Patterson and Hopper both in on that tackle.
But the way to Patterson from behind had a lot to do with Cox not being able to churn those legs of his. 7:13 remaining to go now before intermission. By the way, Ken Stonebreaker, who is the athletic director here at Salina South, is also on the executive board for the Kansas State High School Activity Association. They'll throw deep end zone, not there. And did Hutch come up with it?
Hutchinson takes over on
They take
downs.
over, yeah. Incomplete pass, and they take over on down. So great job there by the Hutchinson resilient defense. So they'll turn the ball over, and Hutchinson will have the football, and let's see if the Salthawks can put a drive together and hang on to the football.
Yeah, that's a couple of passes that Schreiber has had in his hands and dropped.
Glenn, you're talking to Ken Stonebreaker. Earlier, that story I told about 2004, Ken Stonebreaker was the coach.
He was the head coach at the
And
time.
Salina South went on to win the state championship in 2004.
Stonebreaker's done some television broadcasting as well. He's a good one. Give up the middle. Whistle stops play. Illegal procedures to call.
Hutchinson was 6A in 2004, and Salina South was 5A.
False start indicates a 5-yard penalty. Gets the down over, so 1st and 15. But deep down at the 7-yard line is where Hutchinson will set up shop. So Hutchinson split wideouts left and right. Hutchinson in the Garden City game threw 18 times. But looking, the majority is on the ground for the offense. Thompson keeps it, tucks it away, gets across the 10 to the 15. Long body carries all the way to the 17-yard line, gets half of it, and plus some more.
Well played by Miles Thompson as he leads the Salthawk offense on that option attack. The flex bone.
McPherson and Bueller, no score at the end of one quarter of play. That was moved to McPherson so that they could have fans at 10.
Look for Kokar.
The give straight away running, wide open. Here's McEwen, has some room. He's up to the 40, to the 50, down to the 40, 30. They're not going to catch him. See you later. Touchdown, Alec McEwen from way downtown. He took it all the way from the 17-yard line, marking him up for 83 big ones. And more importantly, the lead for Hutchinson at 13-7.
Well, I think Salina South was distracted by Kokar just like I was because they put Kokar out in the slot, wide out to the right in the slot, which typically would indicate that they're going to look to throw to Kokar, but they just handed it to McEwen up the middle, and my goodness, 83 yards later, Hutchinson has another 6 points on the board.
McEwen showing some speed right there. Here's the kick by Boo. It is up. It is good. And Hutchinson takes a 14-7 lead. We'll take a 30-second break. We'll be back for the Hutch kickoff with 6:12 to go in quarter number 2 from Salina. We'll be right back in a half minute.
Need to send someone money? Pay a babysitter? Split the bill? Use FirstPay. It is the person-to-person payment option located right inside your online banking app. There is no need to download an additional application. It is simple, safe, and secure. We're first for you. Visit fnbhutch.bank to learn more, or click on your First National Bank app to get started. You can also stop into a location nearest you, and we're happy to help. First National Bank of Hutchinson, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Well, lightning has struck here at Salina South Stadium in the person of Alec McEwen to go 83 yards. Once he got to about the Salina South 35-yard line, it was see you later. And with 6:12 to go in the quarter, Hutchinson takes a 14-7 lead. That tacks on also with 1:52 to go in the first quarter play, that 5-yard run by McEwen. So 2 TDs for McEwen tonight already, and Hutchinson leads it by the score of 14-7. And Hutch will kick off. Some excitement. Here comes the kick. And it will go out of bounds on the far side at about the 16-yard line. So they'll take it at the 35, they being Salina South.
With those 2 touchdowns by McEwen tonight, he now has 11 touchdowns running the football this season. And earlier we talked about how opponents have outscored Hutchinson 31-14 in first quarters throughout the season. Hutchinson snaps back consistently because coming into this game, Hutchinson outscored opponents 49-20 in the second quarters.
Also, McEwen, we indicated he had close to 800 yards coming in, so he's well over 100 here. So he's close to 900 yards.
If it wasn't for those leg cramps at Garden City, he would probably be averaging close to 200 yards a game.
Probably close. There's a give straight up the middle by Salina South. Gang tackling by Hutchinson. Pick up of 4 yards. Second down and 6. Right at the 39-yard line.
Martinez with the initial contact, and then Jack Hauber to help finish it up.
5:49 to go here in quarter number 2. Again, a 14-7 lead for Hutch. Pistol formation. Frees the quarterback. Throws it on the outside. The catch is made by Hayes. Gets by one defender and did a nice job out there as they blocked out on Henaha.
Another good open field tackle by Devin Hackney.
Yep, short of the first down by about a yard.
I've said it many times. I think the hardest thing to do in all of football is to make open field tackles. Devin Hackney is as good at it as any player I've seen.
Hey, I've heard from grandmothers all over Texas and from southwest Kansas this week on Facebook. There's a give, straight ahead running and a first down. Cox on the carry. It'll be a first down just across the 45 up to about the 47-yard line, excuse me. And it'll be a 1st and 10. I love it when they comment on Facebook about go Salthawks or what have you, but so exciting to have the families watching on the video stream. There's a pass on the outside and stoppage after a pickup of 4 or 5 yards. It'll be a second down and short, second and about 4. McDaniel's on the catch over there. Tajon McDaniel is a sophomore. He's a good-looking one. 6'3", 166 wide receiver. Made that catch. Second down and 4. Pistol formation again for Freeze. Flips it back. That'll be a lateral. Gives it off to Cox, and he's a stop for no gain, maybe a loss of a half a yard.
Nothing there at all. Ben Patterson, Emilio Martinez, David Waymeyer. Whole bunch of white Salthawk jerseys there around the football.
Third down and 5. Inside the Salthawk territory at the Salthawk 48-yard line. Hutchinson defense doing the job. Frees the quarterbacks. Hutchinson shows blitz. A pass on the outside to Hayes, and he picks up some positive yardage all the way across the 45 to about the 43-yard line. Good enough for the first down. It'll move the chains. So 1st and 10 now for South with 3:54 to go before halftime. Hutch leading 14-7, but South now on the run. And Hutchinson defense needs to step it up a little bit here. Stingy last week did not give up any first half touchdowns, but gave up 2 big ones in the second half to lose 14-7. So on the outside, they'll swing it out. Here's the catch is made and then ran out of bounds over on the far side. positive yardage picked up right there by Colin Schreiber.
That might be a penalty against Schreiber for stiff-arming Stephon Hunter into his face mask.
And you are correct. They might be whistling that. Let's see what the call is going to be.
Neither team, whether you're on offense or defense, you're not allowed to put your hand on your opponent's face mask.
Right now it's a 5-yard pickup. Go on the defense.
Went the other way. It's certainly, Randy, you probably had a better view of it than I did. I thought that the offensive player with the stiff arm had his hand on Stephon Hunter's face mask.
And I think I agree with you. I did not see the defensive face mask. I saw maybe even a hold against one of the blockers, but no, I missed that one.
So it'll be a first down and 10. They haven't moved the chains yet. And they'll give it off to Cox, and he stopped for little or no gain. Might even been a loose football.
I think there was some confusion with the chain gang over there.
There was. They had not moved the chains as of yet. Now they move them on down. Now let's see where they're going to mark it at, because that was a first down play. So.
And actually, the penalty did not give him a first down.
Okay.
So it was 1st and 1 or 1st and 2, something like that.
Yeah.
But the chain gang that Lisa spotted the ball was not moved on down. There's a throw in the back and a loss on the play. Nice defensive effort. Hackney comes up to make the stop. And Grandma Hill can jump up and down right now in Pflugerville, Texas, because that was a great stop by the young man.
Pflugerville, what a great name
just
for a
north
city.
of Austin. I had to look it up.
That's
kind of
cool
remember it. I think
cool
I stayed there one time when I was down in the Austin area, but maybe not. I don't know.
We appreciate all our loyal fans, in-state and out-of-state,
Yeah.
and even some of them in other countries.
Got some out in southwest Kansas. I need to know what kids they're associated with. Here's the pitch, the snap, and the give off to Cox again. He's tripped up at the 30-yard line. Nice job right there by Hauber to come over and get a little touch of him, just enough to trip him up.
Got him by the shoe.
Also, Young was over there to help make the stop. So now a key 3rd down and 7. 2:20 to go in this second quarter of play. Hutchinson with a 7-point lead of 14-7. Glenn Grunwald along with Dan Nacarado, Sarah Peterson, and Randy McKay on KWW Radio, Hutchinson, Kansas. Man in motion. Back to pass out of the pistol. Wants to throw it. Arms it out there. Incomplete pass. Stops the clock with 2:07 to go. And this will bring up a 4th down.
Excellent coverage by that Salthawks secondary, because Weston Freeze had quite a bit of time to spot an open receiver, and just nobody was available.
So key down right here on 4th down. Almost feel like they probably will go for it.
Hutchinson gets a stop here. They have all their timeouts. They have enough time to put another score on the board before halftime.
4th down and 7. Back to pass. Ball caught by the receiver. And will he have enough for the first down? And I believe he will. Yep. That'll move the chains. Key 4th down call right there. 4th and 7 from the 30. Take it all the way to 21. 9-yard pickup.
Well played by that Salina South Cougar offense. Nice throw and catch.
The 2:01 remaining now. Clock moving on down. Here's the turn to give on the left side. Nothing there. Stopped at the 20. Pickup of maybe a yard on the play. Cox continues to grind away. Ben Patterson on the stop.
Minute 40 to play in the second quarter. The clock is running.
Love seeing a good running back like Brant Cox. Doing a good job. And Alec McEwen. Both are their bread and butter players for each respective squad. The throw deep in the corner. Catch is made. Touchdown for Salina South. On the catch again, McDaniel, the sophomore, was wide open and gathered it in with 1:24 remaining to go before halftime. That one from 20 yards out.
He just got a step on Hunter and perfectly thrown ball. Great catch, too.
The point after touchdown try coming up. Here's the kick. It is up and on its way, and it is good. And we're tied at 14 apiece with 1:24 to go in the second quarter of play. Salina South getting set to tee up the football. They'll kick it off. We'll be back with more right after this 30-second timeout.
It's football season, when the weather is warm one day and cold the next. Stay ahead of cold and flu season by drinking plenty of liquids, getting enough rest, and keeping your hands sanitized. Come see the friendly folks at Ashcraft Pharmacy, your locally owned Health Mart pharmacy, for over-the-counter medications to help alleviate symptoms. And if you need a prescription, we offer free mail-out, free delivery, or call ahead for our handy curbside service. Go Salthawks! From Ashcraft Pharmacy in the Hart Shopping Center, South Hutchinson, and Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
Well, South took it right down the field from the 35 and drove it all the way down, converted on fourth downs, and put 7 on the board, and we're tied at 14 apiece with 1:24 to go. Salina South and Hutchinson in a good one. And they'll get set to kick it off. Might have just a little bit longer halftime. I think Ken Stonebreaker said it might be 20 minutes due to how far Hutchinson has to go to their locker rooms, as they are actually going to the Salina Central facility here. Here's the kickoff. And a short kick. They stop right at the 30. 1st and 10 for the Salthawks, so they'll set up shop right around that location. So Hutchinson has the capabilities, and they just did a little while ago, was strike in a big way with McEwen ripping off 83 yards for the touchdown. Let's see if they stay conservative here and don't try to make any mistakes with 1:24 remaining to go before halftime.
Not a bad idea to give the ball to Alec McEwen and see if he picks up enough yards to get more aggressive.
See what they might be able to do. Thompson looks at his wristband. Now he gets set. Wideouts left and right. The give straight away, and not much there. McEwen with a pickup of a couple. 2nd down, oh, actually more than that. 2nd down and a long 6. Doesn't need much to break one, especially when you have Fan on that right side and Ragoza and Seitz. Back to pass. Thrown too high and intercepted. And taken back by South. Now they have an opportunity to do something with seconds breaking away. Errant throw by Miles was picked off, and Salina South will have the ball 1st and 10 with plenty of time left. 53 seconds to go before halftime. That was a ball that probably Miles Thompson should have thrown away.
It looked like Kokar might have some room, but as soon as Thompson started the throwing motion, 2 Salina South defenders converged on Kokar. Both of them quite a bit taller than Noah Kokar, and one of them came away with the ball.
Ball at the 23-yard line of Hutchinson. 53 ticks left on the clock. Pistol formation for Salina South. They got a golden opportunity here to do something. They'll throw it on the outside. Catch is made over there at the 20. Cuts inside and then brought to a halt. The catch over there made by Jackson Hayes.
Surprised Coach Sam Sellers didn't choose to take a timeout there. Salina South has 3 of them.
36 seconds remaining to go in this first half of play. Back to Freeze. He'll let it fly. An incomplete pass. Stops the clock with 27 seconds remaining. It will bring up a key third down call right now.
Maddox Hennahaw is pretty much saying, not on my watch. At that cover corner, he's not allowing anyone to get open.
Time maybe to talk about Budke. He might be capable of kicking it in from there. Right now it would be a pretty long one. 3rd down, and we'll call it 5 on the 18-yard line. Hutchinson's 18. The handoff to Cox, and he works it all the way down to the 15-yard line, short of the 1st down, and now decisions need to be made by Coach Mills, and they'll call the timeout. They'll stop the clock to talk about what they want to do with 17 seconds remaining to go before halftime in a 14-14 tie. We'll take a quick 30-second timeout. We'll be back from Salina South and Salina Stadium right after this 30-second break.
Forward. always moving, never stagnant. Together, nothing great is ever accomplished without it. At Fee Insurance Group, we've been working side by side with our clients for more than a century. Together with individuals, organizations, and communities, we look ahead to protect the people, places, and things they love. We're Fee Insurance Group. Forward. Together.
Well, Salina South talking things over, Dan, and it will be a 4th down and 2.
Don't think they're going for a field goal because Coach Sam Sellers was pretty adamant that he wanted 4 seconds added back to the clock. So now there are 21 seconds to go in the second quarter. If you were kicking a field goal, you wouldn't care about those 4 seconds.
4th and 1 for the Cougars. Might be trying to draw him. There's the snap, though. That won't work. Cox has the ball. Angles in. I think he's got the first down by about a yard and a half. So it'll be up to the 12, 1st and 10 from the 12-yard line, now with 17 seconds to go before halftime. So Hutchinson trying to tighten up the defense, and there's another timeout. And we'll take another one as well. Your score, 14-14 tie. South knocking on the door, though. They have it all the way down to the 12-yard line with a 1st and 10 situation. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
The No Fair sale has been extended, and the discounts are falling just like the temperatures. Pools Plus offers spas in every size, shape, and price range. We are sure to have the spa to fit you and your needs. Purchase a new hot tub during October, and Pools Plus will donate $50 to the United Way of Reno County. What a great way to give back and relax. Shop local, shop Pools Plus, 21 East 1st in downtown Hutchinson.
Call us at Pools Plus.
Well, Salina South knocking on Hutchinson's door. Down deep in Hutchinson territory at the 12. A lot of time left, 12 seconds remaining. I say that for at least a couple plays, possibly, that they can take a shot at the end zone. Again, in that pistol formation we talked about in the pregame, Freeze, the quarterback, wants to throw it, goes across, has a receiver, incomplete. Boy, I tell you what, Hayes was there.
That's about 5 or 6 plays that Maddox Hennahaw has been on coverage pretty much by himself on an island, and he has owned it. Maddox Hennahaw not allowing that pass to be complete.
Randy, only a few seconds went off on that one. Sitting there 9 seconds now.
Yeah, 9 seconds with Salina having 1 timeout left, too, in this first half.
See if they burn it or not.
2/3 of the world is covered by water, the other third by Maddox Hennahaw.
Just about. All right, in the pistol against Freeze. Here's the snap. Moves to his right. Throws it back across his body. It's underneath, incomplete pass. 4 seconds remaining. Incomplete pass will set up a 3rd down situation.
Remember when Coach Sam Sellers argued to put 21 seconds on the clock instead of 17?
That's the difference right there.
That gives Salina South the opportunity to run one more play.
Good point. One more time.
And they're going to try a field goal. And on that last play, Cunningham just about had an interception in the end zone.
Looks like they'll mark it to 19, which will make it right at a 29-yard field goal. They mark on the hold, I'm explaining. And it will be Budke. Here's the hold. It's a good one. It's up and on its way, and it is good. A 29-yard field goal with 1 second remaining to go, and quarter number 2 is giving Salina South a 17-14 lead. We'll await the kickoff from the Cougars right after this half-minute break.
Hutchinson High School sports is on the air thanks to these outstanding Salthawk boosters. Portfolio Recovery Associates of Hutchinson, Dr. Randy Smith of Appalachian Animal Hospital, the Wynn Insurance Group of Hutchinson, Summit Surgical, the Hutchinson Clinic, the Medicine Shop, and Jackson Meat. Hutchinson High School and Eagle Radio Sports thank these Salthawk boosters for their continued support of Hutchinson High School athletics.
Well, they had basically 1 second left to kick away, but like you said, Dan, 4 seconds remaining, and that was the difference when they had some time put back on, and they got 3 points out of it. the lead at halftime, or just about halftime, 17-14. 1 second remaining. I guess there's a possibility of a big return.
Possibility, but they'll probably kick it in such a way that would be very unlikely.
So they will tow it up, and Budke will do the kicking. Here it is. They'll squib kick it. Taken at the 29-yard line. Trying to squeak through there, back up to about the 35, and that's going to be halftime. So Hutchinson had taken a 14 lead. That was Newquist on the return, by the way. Taking a 14-7 lead, but saw Salina South come down and then had to pick, and they got 3 out of it. Salina South leading 17-14 at intermission. We'll take a 2-minute timeout, get set for the Medicine Shop in-game capsule. We'll be back with more from Salina South and Salina Stadium in 2 minutes.
Hutchinson Community College and Blue Dragon Athletics are proud to support the Hutchinson Salthawks. Whether you're working towards your degree or are a busy working individual with limited time to attend class, Hutch CC has what you're looking for. And for those still in high school, Hutchinson Community College's Step Ahead program provides a head start on a quality education, and it may not cost the student anything. Visit hutchcc.edu or call 888-GO-HUTCH for more details. And good luck this season to the Salthawks.
Welcome to the Hutchinson Medicine Shop. With the emergence of big business, not only in pharmacy, but all industries, the Medicine Shop is proud to be a thriving local business in Hutchinson. We're so thankful to our customers in Hutchinson, Reno County, and Central Kansas for your support. In turn, we're proud to be a major sponsor of the Hutch High Salthawks, as well as other area high schools, the Blue Dragons, Chiefs, Royals, Jayhawks, and Wildcats. You support us, and the Hutchinson Medicine Shop supports local sports.
The BW Radio Auction is back. Tune in Thursday, 9 till 11. Bargains include a $15,000 gift certificate for any service from England Construction. Vehicle window tint installed from Innovative Tint and Graphics valued at $165. A deluxe detail with the nano treatment from Tom's Detail in South Hutchinson valued at $225. And certificates from High Call Outfitters of Great Bend, Cary Park Golf Course, the Downtown Sampler, and Salt City Coin. Check kwbwradio.com for the complete list and tune in Thursday, 9 till 11 on BW.
It's time to finish your taxes. Whether we filed your extension or not, bring your tax information to H&R Block and let our tax professionals ensure you get every deduction and credit you deserve. And our offices in Hutchinson, Lyons, and Ellsworth are open to assist you. Don't wait to file your tax return and risk penalties for missing the deadline. Make an appointment now and put our expertise to work for you.
Welcome back to Salina Stadium in Salina, Kansas. Salina South with a 17-14 lead with a 29-yard field goal by Budke with 1 second left on the clock to take the lead in at halftime, 17-14. It's time for the Medicine Shop in-game capsule brought to you by the Little White Castle at 14th and Main. Oh, one of Hutchinson's finest pharmacies. Rich Stone and the gang, number one. They got the CBD oil that really is helpful for arthritis and lots of other different conditions such as high blood sugar and high blood pressure and a little bit of everything else. And they also, he informed me the other day, have the flu shots in, including the HD, which stands for heavy duty or a little extra boost. If you're 65 and older, you need to ask for that, especially going into this flu season. So flu shots are in stock, and stop in. Lacey has the softest touch, but several other pharmacists can give you the injection as well. They do a great job there. 14th and Main is the location. Again, they have flu shot, plus they have CBD oils, over-the-counter products. And also don't forget to ask about checking and seeing if you're on the right insurance. They can plug it into a computer to your medications you're on and tell you which insurance in Kansas is the best. Medicare Part D. So that's the Medicine Shop. Dan, South scored first with a 37-yard pass by Cox, and it made it 6-0 as he catch two Cox. 7-0 on the Budke point after, and then Hudson came back. McEwen tied it up with a 5-yard burst. We tied it up at 7 apiece. Then McEwen, an 83-yard explosion, took it all the way across midfield down into the end zone, and Hudson led 14-7. And then just a little while ago, you had a McDaniel 20-yard catch for South to make it 14-14, and the Budke 29-yard kick. And what's some of the other stats that we have?
Well, In the pregame, we always talk about the keys to the game, and we talked about the fact that for Salina South, the key was to try to control some clock. They tend to throw a lot of incomplete passes that stop the clock, don't make first downs, and then give the other team the ball. In this first half of football, Salina South Cougars controlled the ball almost 16 minutes and only 8 minutes time of possession for Hutchinson. Salina South ran twice as many offensive plays as Hutchinson, 42 plays compared to 21. The total yardage, almost dead even. Salina South, 175 yards of total offense. Hutchinson, 171. Individual leaders, got to talk about Alec McEwen for Hutchinson, 132 yards, 2 touchdowns on just 9 carries in that first half. For Salina South, the 2 players we got to talk about are the quarterback, Weston Freeze. He was 12 out of 22 passing for 106 yards and 2 touchdowns in the first half. Brant Cox, we talked about him in the pregame also, number 26, if you're watching the live stream. He ran the ball 19 times for 70 yards in that first half. So it's 17-14. Salina South leads Hutchinson at the half.
Right now, I'll give you some quick updates, and we're going to take a timeout and talk with Ken Stonebreaker here in just a second. But McPherson and Buhler tied up at 6 apiece, and also Hayes 17 over Dodge City. That second quarter score of 17-0. We'll take a 1-minute timeout. Come back and talk to Mr. Stonebreaker. We'll be back with more. Again, your halftime score, Salina South 17, Hutch High 14. We'll be back in 1 minute.
Hutchinson High School sports is on the air thanks to these outstanding Salthawk boosters. Portfolio Recovery Associates of Hutchinson, Dr. Randy Smith of Appalachian Animal Hospital, the Wynn Insurance Group of Hutchinson, Summit Surgical, the Hutchinson Clinic, the Medicine Shop, and Jackson Meat. Hutchinson High School and Eagle Radio Sports thank these Salthawk boosters for their continued support of Hutchinson High School athletics.
Need to send someone money? Pay a babysitter? Split the bill? Use First Pay. It is the person-to-person payment option located right inside your online banking app. There is no need to download an additional application. It is simple, safe, and secure. We're first for you. Visit fnbhutch.bank to learn more, or click on your First National Bank app to get started. You can also stop into a location nearest you, and we're happy to help. First National Bank of Hutchinson, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Salina Stadium in Salina South on top 17-14 at halftime. Ken Stonebreaker, the athletic director at South High, joining us. And you wear several different hats throughout the whole year as well on the executive committee of the Kansas State High School Activity Association. Saw you in a couple Zoom calls that you had earlier on. It was kind of some tough decisions to have to make, but I think you made the right one.
Well, it's difficult, and somebody said it might be a good experience, and I thought, before I retire, that may not be a bad thing to do. And then COVID hit, and I'm on Zoom meetings that are getting views over 11,000 or 13,000 people, and we're having to make some tough decisions. But, we want our kids to play. We want them to be safe, and I think everybody wants that. And it's been a little bit of a difficult year to navigate that, but I do think that our staff at the High School Activity Association is doing everything they can to make sure kids have opportunities, and hopefully we can continue to be safe and continue to play.
First decision had to be kind of based off what the Board of Education made, is to say, okay, they're saying that we can go back to school, but when activities can start. And that was your first decision, and then you kind of had to make a little alternative for when the Wichita School District decided to stop play and not allow any activities to take place. You kind of had to come up with a different plan as well, right, in mid-season.
Yeah, originally, Keisha, the staff came to us with a plan where we were going to start everything on time, but they were going to take the sports of football, soccer, and volleyball and not actually start competitions until after Labor Day. And we voted on that first, and it failed 5-4, and I was one that voted against that. And nothing against the plan, but in my opinion, if we're going to start practice on August 17th, which is the day we did, then let's start playing games when we can, because we just don't know how many games we can get in.
And that came to fruition.
Yeah, and that came to fruition, and then we ended up passing an alternate fall. I have some concerns about that, but it looks like at this point, very few schools will probably choose that option, and so I'm happy about that for us. This is our last activity tonight. This football game means that we can't choose alternate fall in any of our activities. We were one football game short. We lost our game with Derby, and we lost it on the day of the game. So you have to get 5 games played, and tonight's our
So it was too late to be able to get a competitor in here to play, and that's unfortunate. Now, the criteria that the Kansas State High School Activity Association set out is the win percentage to make up for some of those cancellation games, correct? What is the criteria for playoffs?
Well, I think it's win percentage. I think if you don't play a game, I don't think it counts against you. I don't think it counts for you. It's just a less of a game played. In the past, you could earn like 13 points at each football game, but now they're taking an average of those points, and they're going to use an average. So I'm pretty hopeful that we can continue to be down this road. I'll be honest with you. I thought we'd have a few more bumps in the road than what we've had. We've been pretty fortunate at South High. We did lose that one game, and we've lost a couple JV games and some different things here. And we've had some kids that had to quarantine and things of that nature, but we really haven't had any positive cases associated with our students. But we're also realistic to know that possibility is out there.
What about the concerns for basketball? Any thoughts? You guys have been talking about that to some extent. We're supposed to be starting coming up in November. December.
Yeah, we've talked about it at great length. Keisha actually released some considerations, and it's a number of different things, from locker rooms to spacing in your gyms and how many schools to have. Our league actually has had some conversations, and we're going to meet again, I believe, on Tuesday of this week as a league to see if we can hammer out some things. Probably more concerned about that because of the indoor facilities. Basketball can get pretty tight. Wrestling, obviously, the concern there is the contact that kids have. I'm a little concerned in the winter that, flu and colds and those things happen, and so it's going to be hard to distinguish what we're doing. We host several swim events at our building because we have a pool in our building, and I'm telling you, we jam people in there, and there's not much room for seating. So we haven't figured that out yet, but we're working on it. This is the first night our band is marching off the field right now. This is the first night our band has played. We waited that long to get the PPE in for their musical instruments because of the airborne things that happen when you play an instrument. So
also the social distancing, they're doing a nice job. I look at your crowd, they're doing a very nice job with the social distancing.
We've worked pretty hard, and I tell you what, our kids have just been terrific. I'm so proud of our kids, and they do what we ask. It's not easy for anybody, and I know people sometimes get upset and they get uptight, that they have to wear a mask, and we're asking them to do these things. But in the end, what we try to tell them is we're asking you to do these things so your children, our kids, can still play, and we're doing everything we can to do that.
The gating criteria has kind of hurt Reno County. We're not allowing spectators. How's that been in Saline County? I know it's not, because you have spectators here tonight.
It's not an issue right now with spectators. I don't know if that can change. We kind of made a decision as a district we're going to limit capacity to about 25%. I just checked with our ticket gals on our way up here to the booth, and we had 52 tickets that we still had available, and that's not counting anybody that maybe has left and not come back. So we have yet to turn anybody away for a game, but I know people are pretty cautious about maybe getting out. I think they can't get a ticket, so they don't come out. And so we felt pretty good about that, and so far it's gone pretty well for us.
I know you're just like us, and with you got a camera right in front of you, technology the way it is, you can kind of make the game available to those that don't want to come out.
Yeah, and we didn't have the NFHS network at the beginning of this year. We had the camera installed here. We've had a few hiccups with it, trying to get it where we want it. I have it installed in our gym, but it's not functional right now. So we did go to those, and I think that's going to be prevalent in the winter season, too.
I think so, too.
At least people can tune in and see what's going on. And when you put a radio broadcast like you guys do, we use Pat Strothman here, and he's over the top on that. It's kind of like watching that thing on TV.
It's pretty
good. Broadcast.
We have streamed, and we're in FHS as well, but we also stream to YouTube and Facebook, and it's been very successful for us this year, over 1,000 views, so that's going to continue. We're just lucky to have that kind of technology. And you guys are too.
There's no doubt. We're very fortunate
Yeah.
that we can do that. And it's something we had been talking about anyway with grandparents that live in Oregon or California.
Exactly.
What a great tool for them to see their
Yeah.
grandkids play. So
Makes
we
it
like
really good.
Yeah.
Coach Knack goes back and watches it the next day. Of course, he's one of those nerdy guys, you know. Just goes back and keeps doing it. One real quick question: you had the big bond issued, a renovation of both Central and South. Facilities look fantastic.
They really do. We've been very fortunate. Our building it's new, mostly new, and it's just been really exciting to be in that. We just passed a private enterprise where they're going to turf Dean Evans Baseball Stadium,
Wow.
and then they're going to turf the 2 softball fields at South High, and then Central and South and Kansas Westland. We'll try to share those as best we can, but we're trying to upgrade our facilities a little bit, and I think we've done a nice job. And that's a tribute to our community in Salina. They've embraced it and they voted for it, and we thank them for that.
Stepped up in a big way. Always good to see you. Appreciate you stopping by and give us a little insight from the Kansas State Activity Association behind some of the decisions, and we'll see you down the road. Okay?
Well, I appreciate it. You guys do a great job, and we love it when you come up and visit us. And you brought up Knack over here. We go way back. He's a good man, and you are too. And so I know the people of Hutch are happy to have you guys on the call.
Left our other 2 people out, but that's
well,
okay.
They're good folks too. I just don't know them as well as these 2 guys here.
Appreciate it, Ken.
All
Appreciate
right.
it. You betcha.
We'll see ya.
Ken Stonebreaker, the athletic director, longtime coach here at Salina South. We'll take a break. 2-minute timeout coming your way. We'll be back with more right after this.
It's football season, when the weather is warm one day and cold the next. Stay ahead of cold and flu season by drinking plenty of liquids, getting enough rest, and keeping your hands sanitized. Come see the friendly folks at Ashcraft Pharmacy, your locally owned Health Mart pharmacy, for over-the-counter medications to help alleviate symptoms. And if you need a prescription, we offer free mail-out, free delivery, or call ahead for our handy curbside service. Go Salthawks! From Ashcraft Pharmacy in the Hart Shopping Center, South Hutchinson, and Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
Forward. Always moving. Never stagnant. Together. Nothing great is ever accomplished without it. At the Insurance Group, we've been working side by side with our clients for more than a century. Together with individuals, organizations, and communities, we look ahead to protect the people, places, and things they love. We're the Insurance Group. Forward. Together.
The No Fair sale has been extended and the discounts are falling just like the temperatures. Pools Plus offers spas in every size, shape, and price range. We are sure to have the spa to fit you and your needs. Purchase a new hot tub during October and Pools Plus will donate $50 to the United Way of Reno County. What a great way to give back and relax. Shop local, shop Pools Plus, 21 East 1st in downtown Hutchinson.
Call us at Pools Plus.
Hutchinson High School sports is on the air thanks to these outstanding Salthawk boosters. Portfolio Recovery Associates of Hutchinson, Dr. Randy Smith of Appalachian Animal Hospital, the Wynn Insurance Group of Hutchinson, Summit Surgical, the Hutchinson Clinic, the Medicine Shop, and Jackson Me. Hutchinson High School and Eagle Radio Sports thank these Salthawk boosters for their continued support of Hutchinson High School athletics.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back. We're at Salina South High School, a 17-14 lead right now for Salina South as halftime is just coming back. Both teams back on the field. Salthawks warming up and now heading to their sideline. And it's got a text from Rick Krause. He's down in Amarillo, Texas. Amarillo by morning. Sing to him a little bit.
You know, I think most of our fans know Glenn does have an amazing voice.
Thank you.
Been involved in
that.
lots of theatrical productions.
But I doubt if Rick agrees with that part of it type thing. But anyway, he's down in Amarillo, so we got a lot of folks from Texas that are watching in. So, Dan, what does Salthawks have to do to get back in this ball game?
Well, the biggest problem in that first half were the 2 turnovers. There was a lost fumble and an interception that came late that led to the field goal. And that's why Salina South ran 42 offensive plays in the first half compared to only 21 by Hutchinson. So Hutchinson has to take care of the football and make the most of every possession. It's 17-14. We got a good football game on our hands. It's always fun.
Randy McCann on the sidelines, courtesy of Jackson Meat as well as Papa John's Pizza, and it's starting to cool down a little bit. Pretty comfortable night for football, but that was a pretty good field goal by Budke to put him up 17-14. You're an old kicker.
Well, actually, I was a punter. I wasn't a place kicker. So, but, yeah, it was a good kick and a good job by a freshman, by the way. So, yeah, it gave them a 3-point lead to start this second half. But the Salthawks start with the football.
Yes, they will. They'll have the football to start the second half. So Hutchinson will set up offensively, and they'll get set for the kickoff, and Budke will tow the football as the second half is just about to get underway. So glad to have you along this evening. Again, don't forget the post game, as you can go to the KWBW app and pick that up. Like Dan had said on the pregame, it's easy to do, as well as also KWBWradio.com. And the app's pretty neat because you can option to, if you want to go to the menu and go down to the sports stories, you can pick up the stream right there and just watch it in its completion right there. Here comes the kick by Budke, and it's going to sail to the left side right in front of Randy. Picked up very quickly by Peterson at the 25, trying to make something happen, and carries it forward to about the 25-yard line. So I don't believe, Randy, you can tell me you're right there. Was it going to go out of bounds or not, or Peterson took the wise thing to grab it?
You know, it's a tough call on something like that, especially when it hits the ground, because the ball will bounce however it wants to. And so, yeah, I think it's probably a good idea for him to go ahead and pick it up and take off.
Here we get set. Hutchinson first offensive play in the second half forthcoming as they'll mark it right at the 24-yard line. So 1st and 10 for the Salthawks. The split wideouts on the left side. Peterson over there. As well as also on the far side is going to be Zach Hogan. Turn straight away running. That's again going to be McEwen across the 30, positive yardage all the way up to the 32-yard line. Pickup of 8. And Dan, he had a heck of a first half of play.
132 yards, 2 touchdowns in that first half, including the electric 83-yard touchdown run.
So over 900 yards on the season. Love to see him pass the 1,000 mark tonight on the 6th game of the season, as he has been a really great asset back there as well. Turn to give to Blackwell. They read that perfectly. No gain on the play, and actually a loss of 3 on the play. Backs it up. It'll be a 3rd down and long. Play takes quite a bit of time to develop, and Anthony Blackwell was just suffocated as soon as he got the football. So the football at the 29 now. 3rd down. They're going to say 5. 3rd and 5 to go.
Coming into this game, McEwen had 812 yards, so he needs 188 to break the 1,000-yard barrier.
Doobie brings them up to the line of scrimmage. You give to McEwen on the right side. He's tripped up short of the first down by about 1.5 yards. His knee hit right at about the 27.5-yard line. So 4th down, manageable 4th down.
He's already up to around 140 yards tonight, so another 48 yards tonight, and Alec McEwen will be a 1,000-yard rusher.
More importantly, can he pick up a couple right here? Get that first down. Thompson, the quarterback. Miles went the distance, short of quarterback sneak, and I don't think so.
Oh.
I think he stood up. He only got about 0.5 yard, and Salina South will take over right there at the 34-yard line, and this is a big time in this game because the Hutchinson defense is going to have to stack up and get strong right here.
In the first half, Miles Thompson needed 2 yards on a 4th down conversion attempt, and he picked up well over 3, made it look easy. Hutchinson just tried it again in that situation, and this time the Cougars were there to stop
Yeah,
it.
they stacked it up a little bit. So let's see what Hutch can do defensively against this good South team tonight. South at least has showed that they can move the football. They had a great first half of play. And Freeze is the quarterback. That's Weston Freeze. Works it around the outside on the throw, and it's nothing there. No gain on the play.
Nolan Cunningham came up and stopped him immediately. A hard hit, and he's a little bit. The Salina South player, is that?
Yeah, I'm not sure if he knows where he's at.
Is it Jackson Hayes, number 7?
It is, and he was shaken up earlier. He just threw his helmet off, and he is in pain.
It was a very good, clean football defensive play by Nolan Cunningham.
They'll get his helmet for him. He's going to have to check out of the ball game. And it looks like he's going to be okay. But stoppage of play right there with the 9:54 to go in this third period of play. Again, South getting the football and taking over on downs. And second down 11 now.
Remember, Nolan Cunningham came up with a huge interception at Garden City that allowed Hutchinson to win that close game by 1 point.
Freeze the quarterback again. Switches the man from the left to the right side tight end. And we have neutrals. Then we might have movement on the offensive line, and we have.
Now, the Hutchinson scouting report is when number 68 for Salina South, big Kason Dietz, 311 pounds, when he lines up at the tight end position, Salina South almost always runs the ball to his side.
So, second down and 15 now. Now he'll do it that way again. Dietz over on that right side. Weiss looks to the sidelines. They might have changed the play. Freeze back to pass. Throws it, incomplete pass.
You don't see very often in high school football a 311-pound tight end wearing number 68.
No, you don't. That was Al Johnson. That was the intended receiver, and ends up being an incomplete pass. Third down and 15. And actually, Dietz and Johnson were both about in the same spot, so there was some confusion.
He was actually out there to be a lead blocker. That was the game plan.
Third down and 15 now. Clock at the 9:12 mark of this third quarter. Little breezy night. Back to pass is Freeze. Weston looks to his left. Now he's ran out of the pocket. Has some room to get some yardage with. He steps out of bounds just past the 40-yard line. They'll mark it right around the 38, so it'll bring up a fourth down situation for Salina South. So the defense bent a little bit, Dan, but they've stayed out there and done a good job.
They really have. They've given up some points this year. They've given up some first downs, but in most critical situations, they've come up with big stops.
Storylines on this ball game is the defensive improvement. They gave up 46 points per game in 2018, 36 in 2019, and they've done a little bit better this year as well. I'm referring to South. And that talks about experience. And whistle stops play, flag on a play. We might have another illegal shift or illegal motion call against South.
I think you're right. That's usually the center.
Mm-hmm.
Center probably started to snap it, flinched a little bit, and didn't follow through. That's what you usually call a snap infraction.
Again, the Derby game was canceled. That's the one Mr. Stonebreaker was referring to back in September 25th. Canceled at the 11th hour. And then they traveled to at Mays, lost 58-13. They still have Newton and Salina Central on their schedules. The Cougars do. Of course, Hutchinson has Mays as well as Campus. Campus next week at home, both home games. They're going to punt the football. Running to his left is Cox. He gets the kick away, and it's going to be a good one. Getting to the end zone, please, and it does. As it just barely was just about down at the one. You got to take a chance like that sometimes. So Hutch will have the ball on the touchback. It'll come out.
Well, the defense certainly came up big for Hutchinson in that series as Salina South took over on downs at the Hutchinson 33-yard line with 10:04 to play. That Hutchinson defense pushed Salina South backwards, and the Cougars had to punt.
So the Salthawks now will have the ball on the 20. First and 10 from their own 20. 8:39 to go in the third. Time to get going. Thompson, the quarterback, has McEwen at that fullback spot. Sends Kokar in motion. Gets around the right side. Has some room. He picks up about 8 yards. Nice run by Kokar up to the 27-yard line. So picks up 7. And Hutchinson will have a second down and short.
Rocket toss to a fast running back like Noah Kokar. When you have those offensive linemen sprinting to their right to pick up blocks, it's just a pretty play to watch.
He might have been one up this week with that 83-yard touchdown by McEwen for the Titan Home Services play of the game. What do you think?
Well, you know, Noah Kokar has quite a streak of player
of the game,
3 in a row. Play of the game going.
So here we go. McEwen looks at his wrist, Thompson, the quarterback. Thompson will keep it left side, tucks it away and runs, has some room. He's up to the 40. And now he dances all the way up to the 50-yard line, just short of it, at about the 48-yard line. Nice run by Thompson on that option.
21 yards. Nothing wrong with that.
So was able to get in open spaces and showed that he can run with the football.
At this point, the Salina South Cougars have done a good job on that option of taking away any pitch and then covering the quarterback as well.
Great comments there. Comments by Randy McKay, courtesy of Papa John's Pizza and Jackson Meat. Here's the pitch to Kokar around that right side. Has some room. He's up across the 50 to the 40. Trying to turn the corner. He does all the way out to the 30-yard line. So Kokar moves the chains and a first down for Hutchinson. So this is more like the Salthawk football we've been seeing all year, Dan.
You know, schools from all over the country have studied Hutchinson's flexbone offense for quite a number of years now, and it is really fun to watch. I never get tired of watching them in person or on film.
By the way, HMS 8 with another big win today. So the HMS 8 is undefeated. I think HMS 7 is undefeated. The freshmen have only one tie. All the rest are wins, and then it's just one loss Saturday, 14-8 at the hands of Andover for the JV. And a flag comes flying in. Little or no gain by Miles Thompson as he kept it around that right side.
I think that tie was the JV game. I think the freshmen are still undefeated.
Yes.
So that 7th, 8th, and 9th graders all undefeated. Have never lost.
Foul's going to be against the defense. It's a big one. It's a 15-yarder, and Randy, that's going to move the football way down deep inside the South territory.
Yeah, and there should be no reason not to score on this possession now. Hope they hold on to it as long as they can.
7:54 and counting down. Stop clock as they move the chains and mark off the distance on the penalty. Glenn Grunwald along with Dan Nacarado, Sarah Peters on the video photography, and Randy McKay on the sidelines. The broadcast crew for tonight. Here's the keep on the left side. McEwen slices inside the 10 all the way down. Let's see if they'll mark it at the 5 or not. Nope, it's going to be shorter than that. They'll move the chains. It'll be a first and goal situation from the 8.
That Flexbone 2020 Hutchinson Salthawk offense, thunder and lightning with McEwen the Thunder, Kokar the Lightning.
And also, we've got a good one also in a couple other players that haven't got a chance to touch the ball. We have a player hurt on the field. We're going to take a quick 30-second timeout. We'll be back. Hutchinson on the drive right now with a first and goal situation. We'll be back right after this.
Hutchinson Community College and Blue Dragon Athletics are proud to support the Hutchinson Salthawks. Whether you're working towards your degree or are a busy working individual with limited time to attend class, Hutch CC has what you're looking for. And for those still in high school, Hutchinson Community College's Step Ahead program provides a head start on a quality education, and it may not cost the student anything. Visit hutchcc.edu or call 888-GO-HUTCH for more details. And good luck this season to the Salthawks.
Owen Boley is the one that was banged up out there, and he's taken off the field. He's okay.
Salina South player.
Yep, Salina South player. 7:40 to go in the contest, third quarter play. Hudson knocking on the door. They have it first and goal from the 9-yard line. Pitch out to Kokar. Trying to turn the edge, has it, and walks into the end zone. Touchdown, Hutchinson. And Hutchinson regains the lead with that touchdown to make it 20-17 over Salina South.
You had just mentioned before the timeout, before the break, about other players doing a great job on Hutchinson's team. The reason Kokar went into the end zone untouched was an amazing lead block by Jalen Barlow.
Barlow, who's only touched the ball once, but he's been doing a whole lot of blocking out there, especially around that edge. Here's the point after by Boo. Kick is up and on its way, and it is good. And Hudson has taken a 21-17 lead over the South Cougars. We will take a 30-second timeout, come back for the Hutch kickoff in the third quarter of play with 7:28 remaining to go in quarter number 3. Don't go away. We got a good one going. We'll be right back.
Welcome to the Hutchinson Medicine Shop. With the emergence of big business, not only in pharmacy, but all industries, the Medicine Shop is proud to be a thriving local business in Hutchinson. We're so thankful to our customers in Hutchinson, Reno County, and Central Kansas for your support. In turn, we're proud to be a major sponsor of the Hutch High Salthawks, as well as other area high schools, the Blue Dragons, Chiefs, Royals, Jayhawks, and Wildcats. You support us, and the Hutchinson Medicine Shop supports local sports.
Now, following Barlow into the end zone was Kokar, and he just basically strolled in to make it 21-17 with the point after made by Boo to make it 21-17. Hutchinson will kick the football off to Salina South, but a whole lot of football yet to be played down Nacarado. Right now, some back-and-forth action between these two clubs. Kick sails into the end zone, and Martinez had something behind that one. It'll be a touchback.
As the wind picked up, Randy, because that was a pretty good kick.
Actually, it hasn't picked up a whole lot, so
yeah, you're cutting out a little bit, Randy, so we'll let you move to a more favorable spot. So
we just got to give Alejandro Martinez credit for a strong leg on that kickoff.
The flags up here are blowing pretty good, so I think that had a little bit to do with it. This stadium is pretty protected with trees to the south as well as to the north. Of course, the locker rooms to the north, so we'll see here. Now, here South sets up. Weston Freeze to give up the middle to Cox again. He tries to get outside. He can. He's up to the 30-yard line and more. Puts his head down and bowls over a Hudson player. That may be a loose football, but they say it's all the way out to about the 36-yard line. He just busted right over a Salthawk.
Salina South does maintain possession. I'm not sure if it was a loose ball or not, but the officials did indicate it's a first down. That was an impressive run. Brant Cox, the workhorse for Salina South, he's getting a few more carries tonight than he normally does.
He's going to get some looks. He is a junior, and he's very, very talented. He can kick the football. Gives it off to Cox on the left side. He's tackled, stood up. Nice job right there. And little or no gain. Now, maybe I'll give him a yard and a half. We'll call it 2nd down and 8 to be fair. And they say 1 on the score on the PA, so they'll mark it. 6:54 remaining to go in this third period. By the way, Randy McKay, usually at home games, does all the PA work for the Salthawks. We moved him to the sidelines tonight. Bounce it inside, and nothing there. Hutchinson stands him up right at the line of scrimmage, and they're not able to break that.
Jack Hover, by my count, up to 10 tackles in this football game.
You're correct, and also Ben Patterson, the last to get off the stack.
Randy McKay does an outstanding job on the PA.
He does.
At Gowan Stadium.
Well, thank you, but I must say that not all PA announcers are always correct.
All right, back to pass now is Freeze. Has a receiver out there. Catch is made deep inside Salthawk territory all the way to the 25-yard line. Coming up with the catch right there was Colin Schreiber, and he's been the go-to receiver along with the young sophomore McDaniel, and that was right on the money.
And you got to give Schreiber credit because Devin Hackney had good coverage. Schreiber wrestled the ball away from him.
And was able to take it in for the catch. There's a give straight away running by Cox all the way up to the 20-yard line and inside to the 19. 2nd down and 4 for Salina South. They're taking it right down the field. That was a long strike to Schreiber.
Good throw by Weston Freeze, the 6-foot sophomore.
Freeze still in there at the pistol. Gives it off to Cox again. He stumbles forward and he has the first down across the 15-yard line to the 14.
Okay, another test for that Salthawk defense. Let's see how they can come out. Hutchinson's about halfway through the first trimester. They had parent-teacher conferences yesterday, so hope they're doing well on their tests in the classroom. Let's see if they can do well on this test on the football field.
1st and 10 from the 14. Well, they've shown that they can kick a field goal as well, but there is a 4-point margin right now. South trying to put it in the end zone and regain the lead. Freeze the quarterback. Here's the snap. The turn just about fumbles it as Cox, but he gets it back, and on the outside he carries it down to close to the 10-yard line. I'll mark him out of bounds. It'll be right at about the 14 and a half.
David Waymeyer, number 37 on that defensive line, showed some speed chasing down Cox.
Timeout for an injury is going to take place. We're going to keep it here because I'm not sure how long that is going to be, but they'll come out and do it. Attain to the young man, and they come out, and I think he's going to check out of the contest.
That's number 62, Shea Leffert.
Gives the defense a little bit of a time to rest with 4:58 remaining to go. Again, we are in the third period of play. Hutchinson leading at 21-17, but South right now knocking on Hutchinson's end zone doors. They have it, and they will have it at the 9-yard line.
I'm wondering if Salina South took a timeout. The scoreboard doesn't show that.
I don't think they referred to a timeout for an injury, but Hutchinson taking advantage of it, and so is Salina South. Now South comes back over to huddle up with Coach Mills.
I don't mean to correct you, Coach Knack, but I believe that might be Brant.
Oh, is he?
Brant Cox, I think, is the man down.
Okay, thank you. I saw number 62 taking his helmet off, and he's still in there, so you're right.
Player in the backfield, so you are correct.
Thank you very much, Randy.
Number 22 out there, that's going to be Daniel Woodard. And that makes sense because Cox was the one over. I think he's going to be okay. He limps to the sidelines. He was the one that went out of bounds.
Yeah, he was out near the track. And
saw another player that took his helmet off, so maybe both of them.
That.
Here it gives off. Running back takes it all the way down, close to the 5-yard line. That's number 32 out there on the run, and that's going to be Koulis, Owen Koulis. He's a senior running back, 5'9", 171. So they'll set up now. 3rd down and 2. Big down right here for South. See if they go to the air or not. They've done that a couple times tonight. Here comes the snap to give to Koulis, and stopped in the backfield. Nice job out there by Hutchinson. Coming up to lead the team in the tackle was Martinez. Emilio Martinez. They lose a yard, and it's 4th down and 3.
If Brant Cox is not able to return to the game, you're going to see Weston Freeze throw a lot of passes the rest of the way.
So now they're going to go for it on 4th down and 3, not going for the field goal. Back to pass to the right side. Incomplete pass. Hutchinson will take over on downs at that position, and so they bent a little bit, Mac, but they didn't break.
That's right. They passed the test.
And, Randy, I think that really shows you without Brant Cox in there, they couldn't just pound it forward.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that might have been a bad play on the offense, mainly because there were 2 receivers right in the same place.
They sure were.
And it went through both of their hands.
I think it was intended for Schreiber, but he was not able to make the catch. So Hutchinson will take over on downs. Time on the clock is 3:55 to go in the 3rd period of play. Hutchinson on top, 21-17. Thompson, the quarterback. Hutchinson needs to move the football. Thompson will keep it, and he'll get a little bit of a pickup of about a yard, maybe a yard and a half. Not much there. 2nd down and about 8 to go. Miles Thompson ran quite a few times tonight. One was really had a lot of success. Picked up a 1st down with another one, but was stopped short on another opportunity. Here's 2nd down and 9. Peterson wide left. Hudson with McEwen in the backfield. Blackwell over at one of the slots. Kokar with the other one. There's a give straight away. McEwen has some room. He's across the 20. He could be gone again. He's up the 30, the 40, up to the 50. Inside the South territory. Hung from behind and caught at the 26-yard line. A great run by McEwen.
Big run. Important run for this football game and also for Alec McEwen as an individual player, because that puts him over 1,000 yards in just the 6th game of this 2020 season. Alec McEwen has rushed for more than 1,000 yards.
Took it all the way down to the 30-yard line.
And that's with limited action in one of those games due to leg cramps. He wasn't able to play very much in the Garden City.
I think he got 29 yards, something
That's
like
right.
that. I have to go back and look at it. But right here, he ripped it off. And it moves the chains, and 1st and 10 now from the 30-yard line of South with 2:38 to go in the 3rd quarter. Right side run all the way down across the 20 to about to the 16-yard line on the carry. I think it's McEwen again. McEwen with yeoman's duty out there, just getting it done. And I thought he was going to be off to the races and gone. But give South credit. They had the angle on it and caught him and pulled him down to 30.
I think he picked up 58 yards on that run.
And that was Q Hill for the Cougars that actually caught him.
2:23 to go in this third period of play. Hutch pitches outside. Kokar tries to get to the edge, has some room down to about the 11-yard line. Got something out of nothing right there with 2:11 to go. As they'll move the down marker close to the first down. Actually, it's going to be farther behind than that. It's going to be about second down, and we'll say 4. And that ball on the left hash mark. See if Hutchinson takes advantage of more room to run on that right side. Miles Thompson, the turn to get to McEwen. He's toppled at the 10-yard line, falls forward, and they'll picks up positive yardage with 1:42 to go.
Good tackle by Owen Booley, who's back in the game after coming out for a play or two earlier.
That'll move the chains, however. 1st and 10, 1st and goal for Hutchinson.
And pretty much the only way you can stop Alec McEwen is by cutting him down, because you can't. He'll carry you if you just grab a hold of him.
Ball is about the 8-yard line. Is that about the 8-yard line? Excuse me. So 1st and goal from the 8. Give to McEwen, straight ahead running. Not much there. Took it to the 5.
Pretty important that Hutchinson come away with a touchdown.
That's what I was about to say. Extremely important for Hutchinson to put this one in the end zone here. Clock moving inside of 1 minute here to go in the third period of play. There's Dr. Fan over there waving the flag. That Hutchinson Salthawk flag over the bleachers. 2nd and goal now from the 5 for Hutch. Thompson leads them up to the line of scrimmage. You got Ragoza and Dietz on that left side. He'll go right side with it, and McEwen busts into the end zone, and it's going to be close, and it will be a TD. Hutchinson touchdown.
And we have a flag on the play.
So wait a little bit and see what it's going to be.
If it stands, it was a 6-yard touchdown run.
And it will stand, I believe. So McEwen took it into the end zone. With 39 ticks left to go on the clock, they have yet to put the points up on the board, so let's sort things out. The official will. Personal foul, illegal use of hands on the defense.
Okay, Randy, I know you like those onside kicks. With that personal foul against Salina South, that's a beautiful opportunity if Hutchinson wants to try an onside kick after this point after touchdown.
Yeah, it's one of those things that they're far enough because it's a 15-yard penalty, so they're kicking it from the 45 of Salina. It doesn't hurt.
Exactly. Coach Mace Kroll has quite a number of varieties of onside kicks that Hutchinson really hasn't shown very many of so far this season.
Right now, a double-digit lead of 27-17 with the point after coming here from Boo. Carter Boo toes it. He's a lefty. Here comes the kick. It is up and on its way, and it is good. And Hutchinson takes a 28-17 lead over Salina South with 39 seconds remaining to go here in the third quarter of play. We'll be back with more from Salina right after this 30-second timeout.
The BW Radio Auction is back. Tune in Thursday, 9 until 11. Organs include 10 rounds of 18 holes of golfing at Heston Golf Course valued at $250. Attic insulation installed from Advanced Termite and Pest Control. Certificates from RV Drive-In, B&K Medical, Westfall Jewelers, Stutzman's Greenhouse, Computer Mart, 30th Street Daylight Donuts, Don's Custom Floral, the Airport Steakhouse, and Massage by Jenna. Check kwbwradio.com for the complete list and tune in Thursday, 9 till 11 on BW.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Salina South. Well, actually, Salina Stadium. Hudson with an impressive drive that took it all the way down. McEwen's 58-yard run was a key. Took it all the way to the 30, and then took it in for the touchdown from 6 yards out. And Hutchinson now leading with 39 seconds left to go in the third period of play.
It was a 93-yard touchdown drive in just 3 minutes, 16 seconds.
McEwen with his third TD from 6 yards out. Make it 28-17 with a boot kick. So now Hutch, like you said, Randy, will get kicking from the 45. And, Dan, you're correct. This is a great opportunity for an onside kick. And let's see if Hutchinson does that or not. They squib it. It's got to go to the 35. Well, they'll kick it away.
They're happy with that
they are.
11-point lead, and they just – that should have counted as 3 points, I think.
Yeah,
I think he kicked it through the uprights.
Close. All right.
We'd have to change the rules.
Do we call him Harrison Butker now?
All right, so Hutchinson defensively, great stop on the last opportunity for Salina South to get in there. I would need to see if Brant Cox is back or not. He was shaken up on the play, and that made a difference.
Oh, huge difference.
With their offensive running backs.
Huge difference. Salina South will probably go to the air primarily without Brant Cox available to run the ball.
So Freeze back to pass, looks downfield, and he's going to be brought down for a sack. Big defensive effort by Waymire. And also making the stop for Hutchinson was Dakota Thompson. Waymire had a hold of him in a big way and loss on the play.
Waymire's playing a good game at that defensive tackle position. Sometimes you call him a 5-tech. Sometimes you call him a defensive end. Sometimes you call him a defensive tackle. It just depends on which program you're in as to what you call him.
About like you can call me Jay or you can call me JJ or Ray J. And that's going to be the end of the quarter. We go to the fourth quarter of play. Hutchinson 28, Salina South 17. We'll be back after this 1-minute timeout.
It's time to finish your taxes. Whether we filed your extension or not, bring your tax information to H&R Block and let our tax professionals ensure you get every deduction and credit you deserve. And our offices in Hutchinson, Lyons, and Ellsworth are open to assist you. Don't wait to file your tax return and risk penalties for missing the deadline. Make an appointment now and put our expertise to work for you.
Hutchinson High School sports is on the air thanks to these outstanding Salthawk boosters. Portfolio Recovery Associates of Hutchinson, Dr. Randy Smith of Appalachian Animal Hospital, the Wynn Insurance Group of Hutchinson, Summit Surgical, the Hutchinson Clinic, the Medicine Shop, and Jackson Me. Hutchinson High School and Eagle Radio Sports thank these Salthawk boosters for their continued support of Hutchinson High School athletics.
Hi, everybody. Glenn Grunwald along with Dan Nacarado. Also, Randy McKay on the sideline. Sarah Peterson on the video. As we head into the fourth quarter, you listen to Salthawk football on KWBW. Hutchinson, Kansas. Swing on the outside. The catch is made. Positive yardage picked up to about the 19-yard line. Gain of 5 yards on the play. So 3rd and 10 right now.
Through 3 quarters, Alec McEwen, 237 yards on 17 carries.
He's got a shot to his big game this year was 292 yards against May South. Back to passes. Freeze goes downfield, knocked away. A South player got a hand on it, and again, that's the same receiver that they've been going to all night long. He's been having success as Schreiber. And the ball came off his fingertips, double coverage.
Alec McEwen is averaging 14 yards a carry tonight. I think anybody would be happy with that.
Now, Cox normally does the kicking, but Budke's going to come out there. I think Cox is banged up pretty good.
Budke has a bright future, that freshman who kicked the field goal for Salina South and has been handling the kicking duties. He's also a quarterback, so he could find his way to that quarterback position before he's done at Salina South. Just a freshman.
Cox's ankle's pretty bad. He's limping on it down on the sidelines. So Budke will kick it away. He's capable of towing a good one. It's at the 46, taken by the Salthawks.
Block in the back.
Dance his way across the 50, and I see a flag fly in. You're correct, Dan. I think it's going to be a block in the back against Hutchinson.
That was a pretty blatant block in the back on that punt return.
Newquist tried to bring it up. And a flag is thrown on the field, so we'll get the official indication. Might have been Peterson trying to return it. So it'll go against Hutchinson. So Salthawks will have the football, though. We're in the fourth quarter of play. They lead it. Hutchinson leads at 28 to 17. There it is on the receiving team, blocking the back. So let's see where they place the football. It'll be deep in Hutchinson's territory, and walking and finally stop at about the 39-yard line. So first and 10 for Hutch from the 39-yard line.
For about the last 8 to 10 years, Kansas State High School Activities Associations have really emphasized watching out for illegal blocks on special teams plays. They felt like that was the potential for a lot of injuries in the sport.
Kokar split out wide on that right side. And give it straight away. Actually, on the outside, they throw it. Peterson, out of bounds.
He tried to make a nice adjustment to the football, but he just didn't have enough room in bounds to make the catch.
Yeah, at the angle that I'm at, that was out of bounds from the get-go.
Yeah.
But it was a good job by Peterson just to come up with it, too.
That plants another seed in that Salina South defensive mindset about what they have to watch out for.
Peterson goes to the right side this time. Hogan inside the slot. You got Barlow in there as well. Barlow on the block on the outside. Got a good block. Here's Kokar. He's at the 50. Cuts inside. He's got speed. He's down to the 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. Hutchinson touchdown. No flags on the play. He used that speed, and he is a sprinter. And boy, did he ever take it away right around the 30, Dan. Lightning run right there by Kokar.
61 yards. Kokar likes to at least be in the conversation about the Titan play of the game.
Well, that's darn close. The only difference, if you've been farther back, he might have got it again. I think I'd get hung out to dry if he gets it for the fourth straight week, but that was an exciting play.
Kind of night Alec McEwen is having. It's pretty hard not to have that 83-yard touchdown stand as the play of the game.
10:50 to go in the fourth quarter of play. Kick is up and good by Boo, and Hudson has taken a pretty big lead.
What's the record this year?
10:58 remaining to go in the fourth quarter of play. We'll get a quick 30-second timeout. We'll be right back.
Need to send someone money? Pay a babysitter? Split the bill? Use First Pay. It is the person-to-person payment option located right inside your online banking app. There is no need to download an additional application. It is simple, safe, and secure. We're first for you. Visit fnbhutch.bank to learn more, or click on your First National Bank app to get started. You can also stop into a location nearest you, and we're happy to help. First National Bank of Hutchinson, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Hutchinson enjoying a 35-17 lead right now with 10:58 to go in the contest. And that was a heck of a run by Kokar.
He had a little bit of a seam there that the Salthawk blockers created for him, but not very many players could have run through there as quick as he did, and then he just sprinted to the end zone, and with his speed, no one could catch him.
Randy McKay's he's situated at about the 15-yard line right now, but right around the 30s where he really turned on the speed.
And you know what's bad for opposing teams? He's just a sophomore.
Yep, exactly. That was a good run by Kokar. So we've had a 83-yarder and now a 61-yarder by Kokar. McEwen has put on a show, too. There's a return up positive up to the 36-yard line. So South will have the football, but you're right, Dan, as you just said during the break, once Brant Cox went down, that's really has hurt the South Cougars because he was having a heck of a ball game.
It just took the wind out of the Salina South sails when a player like Brant Cox is no longer available. It's just a tough thing on a football team when you don't have a guy like that available the rest of the game.
He's one player, so you have 10 more out there, but still his skill set is so high, and he's a junior. He'll be okay. Looks like he's walking around on it, but very gingerly.
Turns it into almost a one-dimensional passing attack.
Trips on the right side for Freeze, steps up, going to keep the football, and take it up to about the 41, maybe the 42-yard line, short of the first down by about 4 yards.
I am just so impressed with the way David Waymeyer, number 37, rallies to the football so aggressively from his defensive lineman position.
Hutch sets up defensively. The pass on the outside. Hayes has it and gets another step, but he stepped out of bounds.
I think for the rest of this game, you are going to see 90% passing attempts from Salina South. Right now, they're not even putting a running back in the backfield along with Weston Freeze.
So Freeze still at the quarterback position, wants to throw it. Steps out of the pocket, now he steps back, now he heaves it downfield, out of bounds. Went right down the sidelines with it. Ends up being an incomplete pass.
David Waymeyer almost picked up the sack. He has a motor. What impressed me so much on that previous play is he rushed the quarterback, never quit on the play, and after the quarterback took off running, he chased him down from behind on that previous play.
Here's a 4th down and 1 situation. They're going to go for it. Freeze the quarterback, back to pass again. Gives it a heave on the right side, has a receiver out there, but incomplete pass. Hutchinson will take over on downs inside of South territory at the 40-yard line, 45-yard line.
10:06 to play in the 4th quarter.
If they would have had Cox in there, you know they more than likely would have ran it for that short down situation, but they did not. And they're also without him on defense as well.
Yeah, he's a critical piece of this Salina South Cougar football program. We wish him well. Hope he heals up and is good to go soon.
Salthawks with the ball, 1st and 10 from the 45-yard line of South. Miles Thompson, the quarterback, up behind Doobie. Great offensive line, straight away, keep by Thompson, turns it at the 40, backs up, has some room, he's loose at the 30-yard line. Angles still fighting for yards all the way down to the 25.
It looked like the old days of Wes Kimmel just throwing tacklers aside. My goodness, you don't see quarterbacks run with that much power very often.
Plays 6'7", weighs accordingly as well, and took it all the way down to the 24-yard line. Several South players got hands on him, but could not bring him down.
6'7", 230 pounds, and he carries it very well.
And actually, probably one of the best runs that I've seen Thompson make.
Yep, he had another one for the first down, if you remember, but this one was kind of stopped dead, and he just kept keeping those legs going and showed what he could do. Man in motion to give to McEwen. He pops through. He backs up backwards all the way down to the 21. And that's a quick 6 yards right there.
I would surmise that the Hutchinson coaching staff would prefer Miles Thompson not have to carry the ball too many times because the heir apparent at the quarterback position could be a sophomore named Nick Lang, who sustained an injury earlier this year. They really don't want to have to move Noah Kokar to play quarterback because that creates all kinds of other ripple effects through the offense.
Yep, you don't have that speed to the outside because he's playing quarterback, so you're right. Here's Thompson, leads him up, 2nd down and 6. Turn, keeps it again himself, jumps over one player and all the way down across and straddles the 19 to the 18-yard line. So a key 3rd down and 2 situation coming forth.
So bottom line, when you have running backs like
now we got
Alec,
a player down. Jonathan Fan trying to get up. He's going to be okay, I believe. And
when you have running backs like Alec McEwen and Noah Kokar and Jalen Barlow and a lot of capable people to carry the ball, and the backup quarterback is not available, you really don't want the starting quarterback running the ball too many times a game.
Fan will have to come out because they stopped the clock for the injury. He will have to come out of the contest, and I think we're missing a guard on that right side since he came out of the play.
It's probably going to be Tajan.
And now they'll set up.
Imagine Tajan James will come into the game.
Kokar at that slot, McEwen at the fullback slot. The turn to give to McEwen. He's straight away running all the way up to about the 10-yard line. Pulling his jersey was a South player, and he's right at the 10. It'll be very close to a 1st and goal. Hutchinson leading at 35-17.
This is a Salina South football team, 1-3, but they've given good teams a very good contest in the first half of quite a few games this season.
They led 17-14 at halftime, so have not scored in the second half of play. Had a good opportunity early on, but Hutchinson defense stood up and took over on downs.
First game of the year, Salina South played Mays tough in the first half.
And again, the Derby game was canceled, as was our Derby game canceled as well. And a timeout's going to be taken. Hutch takes the timeout. We're going to break in as well. 30-second timeout coming. Your score with 7:29 to go in the fourth quarter of play is Hutch 35, Salina South 17. We'll be back in a half minute.
It's football season, when the weather is warm one day and cold the next. Stay ahead of cold and flu season by drinking plenty of liquids, getting enough rest, and keeping your hands sanitized. Come see the friendly folks at Ashcraft Pharmacy, your locally owned Health Mart pharmacy, for over-the-counter medications to help alleviate symptoms. And if you need a prescription, we offer free mail-out, free delivery, or call ahead for our handy curbside service. Go Salthawks! From Ashcraft Pharmacy in the Hart Shopping Center, South Hutchinson, and Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
Welcome back, everybody. Again, 35-17, Hutch on top. Hutch driving, and you get a correction to make now.
Yeah, I hate it when I blatantly misspeak. It was McPherson that Salina South played in the very first game of the year, and they played them very tough the entire first half of that game.
It had an M to start.
Well, that's no excuse.
By the way,
it's on the way to Salina.
They were locked up in a good one earlier on. All right, we understand there's a high pitch on our video broadcast, so I'm not sure what is causing that. We'll move one of our headsets away, and we'll try to fix that.
And you're not talking about a high pitch like Bob Gibson used to throw.
By the way, we lost Whitey Ford today, Hall of Fame pitcher for the Yankees. He passed away. To give to Barlow up to the middle inside the 5-yard line. Let's see where they mark it. Looks like it's going to be at about the 3.
Penalty on the play, and I think it's probably going against Hutchinson.
Holding is going to be against the Salthawks.
Holding penalty last week at Andover when Hutchinson looked like they were ready to go in for a touchdown deep in Andover territory, ended up costing them. They went backwards and were not able to score at all. And that was it when the game was tied at 7. So you hate to see penalties committed when you're deep knocking on the door.
Apologize for the little high pitch on the stream. We're not hearing it here, so we're at the mercy of what's going out. So we've got a lot of electronic equipment stuff laying around, so apologize for that. Here's Thompson, the quarterback, from the 20. Give away quickly to Barlow, and he carries it forward, stacked up. South came up to make the stop. They'll move it to about the 17-yard line, pick up a 3 on the play.
Jonathan Fan is back in the game at right tackle, so that's good news for Hutchinson.
6:45 remaining to go in the fourth period of play. Hudson okay to take some time off the clock here.
Absolutely.
They've regrouped and rallied back in the second half and done a nice job with it. They've used both the big play and the power inside game tonight to get it done. But you had that big 63-yard run by McEwen. Or 83-yard run, 83-yard run, which was huge. And then you had a 61-yard run. But Kokor, there's a run by Thompson into the end zone. Took it in from 17 yards out.
You don't mind it when the quarterback runs and no one ever touches him. That's okay.
So Thompson with the TD.
17-yard touchdown run.
Yeah, let's just spread the love here.
6:14 on the clock. Hutchinson are up right now 41-17.
Here comes the kick. It's up and on its way, and it is good. Boo puts it through. 42-17. Hutchinson with the lead. We'll be back for the Hutch kickoff right after this 30-second break.
Forward. Always moving. Never stagnant. Together. Nothing great is ever accomplished without it. At the Insurance Group, we've been working side by side with our clients for more than a century. Together with individuals, organizations, and communities, we look ahead to protect the people, places, and things they love. We're the Insurance Group. Forward. Together.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Salina. Hutchinson has taken full control, 42-17. They lead it with 6:14 remaining to go in this fourth quarter of play. So it will be Hutchinson kicking off. We apologize on the stream. Evidently there's some high squeal, but we also heard it's even on our online stream, which would indicate it's coming out of the board back at KWBW. So here will come Hutchinson's kickoff, because we're not hearing anything here, so we apologize for that. Here comes the kick. Martinez had the opportunity to really put the toe into it. Here it hits at the 10-yard line and into the end zone for the touchback. He's had some good kicks tonight.
He's putting it in the end zone. In high school football, if you have a kicker that can get you a touchback by kicking it into the end zone, you'll do that almost every time and make your opponent start on the 20.
So they'll take it over at the 20, and I don't think we're going to see Cox again tonight. He's been injured, and he's getting iced up right now. All right, here we get set. Cougars with the football, 1st and 10. They'll give it to the first man through, and that is going to be number 32, Owen Koulis, excuse me. I got her straight. 2nd down and 10. No gain on the play.
Salina South led it at halftime, 17-14, and now it's Hutchinson 42-17.
Koulis is nowhere on the depth chart here. Ball knocked away, just about picked off over there. Good opportunity for Hutch to maybe come up with it. It's going to be a 3rd down and 10.
Nolan Cunningham almost grabbed another interception.
Yeah, he's kicking himself for not grabbing it.
Would have been a pick 6, probably.
So 3rd down in a passing situation for Freeze, Weston Freeze. He's going to be a good one. He's a sophomore. Throws it across the middle. Catch is made. And caught at about the 34-yard line. A whole host of Hutchinson players come in to bring him down, but that was, again, a good catch out there by number 7, Jackson Hayes.
Impressive throw by the sophomore, Weston Freeze. Put it right on the money.
Clock at 5:36 to go in the contest. Ball game essentially over. Sends the receiver in motion on the outside and picks up some posse yards, still on his feet. Picks up about 8 yards. Nice run out there by Hayes.
Hard to tell whether that was a pass or a lateral. It was close.
And it'll be a 2nd down and about 3 situation forthcoming for Salina South. Pass on the outside. Looks like the ball was caught. Good enough for the 1st down, right at the 49-yard line. So they're moving the chains. And the crowd here, of course, majority of them from Salina South, acknowledging the fight that they're putting up. 42-17. They want to throw it. Looks to the right. Throws it quickly up and incomplete. Stops the clock. 4:44 to go in his 4th quarter of play.
Nick Scarborough getting some action there on the defensive line for Hutchinson. He was deep in the backfield, trying to make some magic for the Salthawks.
2nd down and 10.
Football just short of the 50-yard line for South. And fumbles the football, try to hand it off. Kind of a delayed draw. And a loss of 4 on the play.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether that was actually supposed to be a handoff or just a fake. And the running back just decided, I'm going to take it.
Randy's comments on the sideline all night long, brought to you by Jackson Meat, as well as Papa John's Pizza. Freeze, back to pass. Steps back, throws it. Got a good arm, puts it out there. Incomplete pass, just about was caught.
That's the sophomore Titan Hennahaw back in coverage.
Tell you what, saw a good little quarterback by the name of Jax Hennahaw the other day on the freshman team that played well.
The Hennahaw family, good people.
So let's bring up a 4th down and 14.
Are all these Hennahaw's from the same family?
Yep. 4th and 14. Back to pass. Freeze, runs out of the pocket, throws across. Catch is made at the 35-yard line, immediately tackled by Hutchinson's Newquist. That'll move the chains. So 1st and down for the Cougars. And I'll tell you what, South's not that far from being a pretty good football team.
They, as we've said, they've been competitive in a couple of games, and they have the win over campus.
Back to pass, which will be the opponent for Hutch next week. Long pass downfield. Catch is incomplete at the goal line. Looked like he had Hayes down there, and Hayes dropped the football. Jackson Hayes, the intended receiver, stops the clock with 3:45 to go on a 2nd down and 10 situation inside Salthawk territory at the 34.
Most of the starters are out of the game now on Hutchinson's side.
Back to pass again. Freeze. Gives it a heave. They go up, jump ball. Incomplete pass. This time it was Schreiber, the intended receiver.
Gabe I on the coverage. You got to see Gabe I play quarterback for the JV on Monday. He's got a bright future as a defensive back.
Talked to Coach Vernon the other day. Wishes he had some offensive and defensive linemen in that freshman and sophomore class going forward. Back to pass again is Freeze. They'll chase on him. Trying to get to him. There's a flag. There must have been a hold. Pass downfield. Incomplete. Let's see what the flag's going to indicate.
Good coverage.
Stops the clock with 3:29 remaining to go in the contest. Randy, appreciate you filling in for Joe Blake tonight.
Appreciate it as well. And on that play, there looked like some offensive pass interference right there at the end. The flag was not thrown on that, though.
Thrown back at about the 40-yard line, so...
Won't make a big difference as the penalty's probably against Salina South.
Yes, it is.
Anyway.
So,
Randy
Whitecap's going to let us know what's going on. It's a hold.
Randy, will you still be doing PA duty even if no fans are allowed at Gallon Stadium?
Actually, yeah, they do in the NFL, so why not?
Good point. So they'll march it back and put it at about the 48. Of course, our next game we're referring to is going to be campus as they come to town on next Friday. On Monday night, there's a freshman game against Goddard Eisenhower and then a JV game against Salina South. Here's the rush on the ball, throwing it down, long pass down, and picked off by Hutchinson. Coming up with the pick out there is number 17, and he's got Walker, and he's still on his feet, still across the 40, all the way to the 45, and finally dropped just short of the 45.
Congratulations, Christian Walker, coming into a varsity game and collecting an interception.
He's getting some high fives.
And what a great return on that interception, too.
Sure was. I looked down enough to get the number and name. I looked back up, and Sarah indicated that he's still going. And they took it all the way back up to about the 44-yard line. So Hutch is 44. Time on the clock is 3:12 to go in the contest.
I truly appreciate you and Sarah providing the live stream of the freshman and JV game on Monday.
And we will do it again this Monday.
And I know
Jalen Barlow will help me out as well.
good. I know I'm not alone. It's a fun thing to watch, and I was extremely impressed with Christian Walker in that JV game on Monday.
Did a very nice job. Here's Thompson, still a quarterback. He's going to keep it across the 50-yard line, has some room, dips outside, spins around, trying to get to the 44, still on his feet. And it'll be a first down. He carries it for 12. Nice effort. Trying to make things happen, Randy, even though this game's in control with 3:02 to go. Nice run by Thompson.
And definitely, and now's an opportunity because, you know, there are some teams that will start playing a little bit dirty because they're disappointed, but not Salina South. They're playing it heads up.
Yeah, they're
like
playing really good. Exactly. All right. Here we go with the football. Here's Hutchinson. Miles Thompson, the quarterback. Gets the snap. First man through. Loss of a couple on the play. Nice defense. And coming up with that run right there after he got the pick a little while ago was Christian Walker.
Right now, I'm not 100% sure, but I think Miles Thompson is probably the only starter
And
on
he's
the
going to
field.
come to the sideline right now and keep him out there. I think you are correct. So Hutchinson, some of the JV and practice players work so hard, the backups, get an opportunity to do something here as we're inside of a minute and 57 to go in this fourth quarter. Hutchinson leading in a big way, 42-17. Trying to keep this a shutout in the second half. They give to Walker again. He gets his yardage back that he lost and picks up another yard. It's going to be third down and 9. Another flag on the play.
Chase Kepler at right guard, I think, is still on the field, perhaps.
Referee's talking things over. Let's see where it's going to be where the spot of the infraction might have taken place. So it might have been a couple. Offsetting. Illegal formation against Hutchinson. And a face mask against Salina.
Usually an illegal formation means one of the offensive linemen was not close enough to the line of scrimmage, so you don't have enough men on the line of scrimmage to run a legal football play.
Second down and 11. Miles Thompson, the quarterback. Several different numbers out there.
Carson Hilty's in the game.
Mm-hmm. Carson will be one of those wideouts.
Carson's in the mix, though, occasionally.
Yep, sure is. Plays a lot of special teams. He splits out wide right side. Thompson hands it off. Little or no gain on the play.
Colby Akins on the field.
Ball was carried by Dakota Douglas on the carry. 3rd and 9, back to the line of scrimmage.
Mason Sykes is still in the game also. So
57 seconds to go in the fourth quarter here. Yeah, there's a couple. Got to protect those kids.
Right. Mason Sykes, Chase Kepler, and Miles Thompson still in the game.
Flag on the play.
Yeah, I think we're going to get an unsportsmanlike conduct by the Cougars.
They'll come over and chat things around, and one of the big offensive linemen, Kepler, comes over to talk to the official.
They're going to wave it off.
They're going to wave it off. So, Hutchinson will have the football with 53 seconds to go, facing a 3rd down and 9. Now wind the clock and get it going. And let's see if Miles just takes a knee or goes for a play right here. Hutchinson leading in a big way, 42-17. Last few seconds of play here. Another flag on the play. Given off to a running back and loss on the play. Forward progress right back to the line of scrimmage. Again, that's Walker.
Coach Mike Vernon will pick up his 9th victory as the head coach at Hutchinson High School and his 38th overall victory as a head coach.
And the 5th of the year will guarantee a winning record this year.
I've got that prediction pinned at the top of my Twitter account at Coach Knack that on September 3rd, I guaranteed Hutchinson High School would have a winning record this season. Appreciate all the hard work everybody associated with Salthawk football has put in to this program, and it's paying dividends.
Well, in a winnable game coming up against Campus, they trailed 21-7 at halftime to Mays, I believe, or it's Derby. Derby's who they were playing.
Heck of a way to welcome back after a 2-week hiatus.
Both teams,
right.
They'll mark the 5-yard march off against Hutchinson to the 48.
Salina South defeated Campus on September 18th, 55-35 in a high-scoring contest.
Third down and 15 right here, and they're going to crank the clock here. Now they do it.
Congratulations to Campus. Sterling Chapman, an excellent basketball player, saw he's heading to Wichita State.
Play for the Shockers,
when he's done at Campus.
All right, Hutch going to take a knee here, Dan, as they're in victory formation.
When Miles Thompson takes a knee, he still looks pretty tall.
Loss on the play of about a yard when he stepped back, but that's going to do it. Your final score tonight is the Hutchinson Salthawks come in. They trail at halftime 17-14, but they put some points on the board in the second half. They win at 42-17. We will take a 2-minute timeout and get set for the postgame show coming your way. Again, we'll be back in just a little bit. Again, a 2-minute timeout, 42-17. Hutch a winner tonight. We'll be right back.
The No Fair sale has been extended, and the discounts are falling, just like the temperatures. Pools Plus offers spas in every size, shape, and price range. We are sure to have the spa to fit you and your needs. Purchase a new hot tub during October, and Pools Plus will donate $50 to the United Way of Reno County. What a great way to give back and relax. Shop local, shop Pools Plus, 21 East 1st in downtown Hutchinson.
Call us at Pools Plus.
Hutchinson High School sports is on the air thanks to these outstanding Salthawk boosters. Portfolio Recovery Associates of Hutchinson, Dr. Randy Smith of Appalachian Animal Hospital, the Wynn Insurance Group of Hutchinson, Summit Surgical, the Hutchinson Clinic, the Medicine Shop, and Jackson Me. Hutchinson High School and Eagle Radio Sports thank these Salthawk boosters for their continued support of Hutchinson High School athletics.
Need to send someone money? Pay a babysitter? Split the bill? Use First Pay. It is the person-to-person payment option located right inside your online banking app. There is no need to download an additional application. It is simple, safe, and secure. We're first for you. Visit fnbhutch.bank to learn more, or click on your First National Bank app to get started. You can also stop into a location nearest you, and we're happy to help. First National Bank of Hutchinson, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
It's football season, when the weather is warm one day and cold the next. Stay ahead of cold and flu season by drinking plenty of liquids, getting enough rest, and keeping your hands sanitized. Come see the friendly folks at Ashcraft Pharmacy, your locally owned Health Mart pharmacy, for over-the-counter medications to help alleviate symptoms. And if you need a prescription, we offer free mail-out, free delivery, or call ahead for our handy curbside service. Go Salthawks! From Ashcraft Pharmacy in the Hart Shopping Center, South Hutchinson, and Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Salina Stadium. And it's a happy bunch of Salthawk fans as Hutchinson comes out and wins it 42-17, goes to 5-1 on the year. Gets set to take on Campus next week. Trailed at halftime by a score of 17-14, but Hutchinson took care of business in the second half of play and come away with a victory tonight. It's time for the Men's Shop postgame wrap-up, brought to you by the Little White Castle at 14th and Main. Rich Stone, I was in the other day, and he mentioned to tell everybody that they also have the high-dose flu shot that's for 65 and over. We call it the HD, heavy duty, and I'll tell you what, if you're 65, you need to ask for that a little bit more of a boost. And flu season is going to be here before too long, and we don't know what's going to happen with the flu season, so be sure and have it, get it while you can, and it's wise to get it right now before it gets on top of you in another way. So important. Don't forget about the CBD oils that they have, and just a great line of over-the-counter products as well. That is the Medicine Shop in Hutchinson. A whole lot of numbers to go over, and Coach Knack will get those going here in just a little bit. But Hutchinson, again, has trailed early by 7-0 with a 37-yard pass to
Brant Cox, who was injured later in the ball game, but he had a 37-yard touchdown from Freeze to Cox. They took the lead 7-0. McEwen with a 5-yard run right up the middle made it 7-7 tie, and then an 83-yard run by McEwen, and that is our Titan Home Services play of the game. Brought to you by Titan Home Services at 4th and Whiteside. He ripped it off to make it 14-7, Hutch with the lead. And then a 20-yard run by McDaniel with a minute and 24 to go right before halftime to make it and pull it tied up at 14-14 tie. And then all of a sudden you had the interception, and Budke was able to put through a 29-yard field goal with 1 second remaining to go in the half to go up on top 17-14. In the third quarter, Kokar gave Hutchinson the lead again, 21-17, with a 9-yard run. McEwen with another 6-yard run, including another big run by McEwen mixed in there. And then the 61-yard Kokar touchdown run in the fourth quarter of play kind of put it out of reach at 35-17. And then tying it up a little bit later on, or extending that lead to 42-17, was the Thompson 17-yard scramble for the TD in the fourth quarter of play. And Hudson comes away with a 42-17 lead. Big stats that you have for me, Dan, before we talk with Coach?
Well, pretty big stats from Alec McEwen in that running game for Hutchinson. 19 carries, 250 yards, 3 TDs, including that one that you just described, the 83-yard touchdown run in the first half. Remember, at halftime, South led this game 17-14. And in the first half, Salina South ran twice as many offensive plays as the Hutchinson Salthawks. In the second half, it was a little bit different story. By the time this game was over, Hutchinson amassed 467 yards of total offense compared to 305 yards for Salina South. Hutchinson turned the ball over twice in the first half, and that was the biggest reason they trailed at halftime. No turnovers in the second half, and instead, they actually intercepted one Salina South pass and turned the game around. But Alec McEwen, fantastic night with 250 yards, but let's not forget about Noah Kokar, 104 yards on 6 carries. He averaged 17 yards a carry, and Miles Thompson getting it done also. He picked up 90 yards on 12 carries. Good game from Brant Cox on the Salina South side of the field. He ran for 103 yards on 25 carries, and we certainly wish him well. We hope he's able to return from that injury that he
looked
sustained.
Like an ankle injury from what I could tell. And I didn't actually see where he went out of bounds. We were looking at a different player, and it ended up being Cox was hurt out of bounds, and he did not return in. So that wraps up the medicine. Go ahead.
Can I get one more player? I'm sorry. 13 tackles tonight by Jack Hopper.
Outstanding. He played extremely well. We're going to wrap things up with the Medicine Shop post-game capsule. We'll be back to start the coach's show. Coach Vernon's up here. We'll be back with more from Salina right after this.
You've been listening to Hutchinson Salthawks Sports on BW Radio. Our broadcast was brought to you in part by Ashcraft Pharmacy, the Insurance Group, Pools Plus, and the Hutch CC Business Office. Salthawks Sports is also brought to you by these Salthawk Boosters, Portfolio Recovery Associates, Apple Lane Animal Hospital, Edward Jones Financial Advisor, William Thacker, and the Hutchinson Clinic. Stay tuned. Our Coaches Show is next on BW Radio.
The BW Radio auction is back. Tune in Thursday, 9 until 11. Bargains include leaf-for-leaf gutter guards for your guttering from CNC Home Improvement valued at $1,000. Vehicle details and oil changes from Midwest Superstore valued at $150. And certificates from the Toy Depot, Egbert Liquor, The Bug Guys, I Fly and Auto, Stone Creek Nursery, Bullseye Grill, I Need a Cleaners, Dixie's Car Wash, and Goble Carpet Cleaning. Check kwbwradio.com for the complete list and tune in Thursday, 9 till 11 on BW.
It's time for the Coaches Show on BW Radio. A look back at tonight's game and a peek into the next action. The Coaches Show brought to you by the Medicine Shop. Our chat with head coach is next after this timeout on KWBW.
The Medicine Shop, the Medicine Shop. When you drop your prescriptions off, the personal care you'll find there will make you feel all better. The meds you need delivered with speed, the lowest prices guaranteed. Get your prescriptions with no hassle at 14th and Main at the Little White Castle. You'll feel all better at the Medicine Shop.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back. Again, Mike Vernon joining us. And Coach pitched a shutout in the second half, trailed at halftime by 3, but turned around and defense really stepped up in the second half. The offense got it going. Great win for you.
Yeah, they came out, and I thought that they played really well in the first half. We made a couple mistakes there. I put Miles in a bad spot there on that interception. That was a Mike Vernon fault. That was a coach fault. That wasn't a Miles fault. So, but in the second half, what I really enjoyed was, we went over at halftime. We had the offense and defense separated there. The coaches got in, talked to the kids, showed them how we're going to do things, and there was no panic. There was, they were just ready to get back out on the field and keep playing. And I really think that's a strength, and I was really proud of them.
They played really well. Now South also, like you said, played extremely well. They were a different team when Cox went out, but at the same time, they took advantage of Hutchinson error in the end of the first half of play and was able to get that field goal and led it 17-14. What did you guys discuss in the locker room? Just take care of business?
Yeah, we just had a couple little things that we needed to do to fix, on offense blocking wise. Just little twists to our scheme, and we got that done. And the defense talked about a couple of the blitzes that they had, and sure enough, we went out there and they executed, did a great job, got the win.
Tell you what, the one run by McEwen, it was just straight away up the center that really, he just exploded. Good blocking on the Kepler and Fan side along with Doobie. You got great blocking from your offensive line tonight.
Yeah, they did a great job, and those backs have run so hard. How about I think McEwen had a great night, and yes, like he's phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
He really is. But that Kokar run on that rocket toss in the second half where he just put his foot in the ground. Well, and I can't remember if it was Barlow or Blackwell, but one of them had a pretty good block and pushed the guy out, and Kokar put his foot in the ground, and it was just gone. It was like, wow.
And he really turned on the Jets at about the 30, and it was just, you could just tell it. And anxious to see that highlight when we get it up and get it going, because it was a good one, no doubt about it. Your defense stepped up big time in the second half.
Yep. And, we got some seniors over on that side of the ball, and they have a lot of pride, and, they definitely wanted to come out and prove themselves, and they did.
Waymar, Harvard, Newquist played a solid. Hackney had a good job back there defensively as well, and you were without Mason Weathers tonight due to concussion protocol. We'll get him back.
Yeah, and, he got to travel with us today, and we got to see him, but I don't know when we'll get him back, hopefully soon, whenever he heals. But, Thompson came in and played well, and even Robertson got a little bit of time at 9. And how about another kid on the defensive side?
Mm-hmm.
How about Cunningham? Cunningham came in, got a pressure. He's playing 9, then we had him at corner, and he pretty much shut that kid down out there. Did a really good job.
He and Hennahaw played really good defensive out there. So we're going to take a quick break, come back and talk about the Hayesville Campus Colts as they come to town next Friday night. We'll be back right after this.
Welcome to the Hutchinson Medicine Shop. With the emergence of big business, not only in pharmacy, but all industries, the Medicine Shop is proud to be a thriving local business in Hutchinson. We're so thankful to our customers in Hutchinson, Reno County, and Central Kansas for your support. In turn, we're proud to be a major sponsor of the Hutch High Salthawks, as well as other area high schools, the Blue Dragons, Chiefs, Royals, Jayhawks, and Wildcats. You support us, and the Hutchinson Medicine Shop supports local sports.
Welcome back to Salina Stadium. Glenn Grunwald along with Mike Vernon on the postgame show, sponsored by the Medicine Shop. And Mike, just a good job done tonight. Now we race this game from our memory banks and get set for campus as they come to town this coming Friday night. They've been without a game for a couple nights. They had action tonight, but campus is you never can tell what's going to happen.
Yep. Got my good friend coaching there, Coach Cruz. He actually coached me in college. Good man. He's gonna come up with something, and they're gonna play really hard against us, and we're gonna have to make sure that we understand that we're gonna have to grind it out just like always, and looking forward to it.
Good to have our fans back tonight on the road game here. We'll have a different situation next Friday night in Gowan Stadium.
Yep. And that's gonna be a little different, but maybe gating criteria gets changed. I don't know. I heard something about Bueller changing it. Yeah, so you never know. Maybe Monday night, or some minds will be changed. I don't know.
We'll see. But nevertheless, we'll be there. You'll be there, and Hutchinson will get ready to take on the campus Colts. Thanks, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it. Back for some final thoughts right after this.
You've been listening to The Coaches Show on BW Radio. The Coaches Show has been brought to you by the Medicine Shop, 14th and Main. Thanks for listening to Salthawks Sports on KWBW Radio, 1450 AM and 98.5 FM.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back again. Coach Staccarotto and myself. A good win by the Salthawks as they came away with a nice win tonight, Dan, and we were a little concerned at halftime, but they were able to turn around and get it going in the second half of play.
All is right with the world again. Hutchinson wins and goes to 5-1. Now, if you're the type person that likes to look ahead to the postseason, Mays, before coming into tonight's game, was 5-0. Hayes was 4-0. Wichita Northwest only got to play 3 games, and they have a potent offensive attack at Wichita Northwest. Goddard was 4-1 coming into tonight's game. And the team that I mentioned to you during one of the breaks, Glenn, that better watch out for is Bishop Carroll, who's just playing a ridiculously difficult schedule this year. Coming into the night, they were 3-2.
Exactly, and we wish Mr. Brant well. It looks like it could have been a calf injury that he sustained, and hopefully he'll be able to get back and get healed up. So that's pretty well going to wrap it up. Again, your final tonight, 42-17, Hutchinson a winner over a Salina South team that played pretty hard, especially in the first half of play. Didn't have enough horses to go with the Salthawks tonight in the second half of play and fall in defeat 42-17. Special thanks to Sarah Peters from the video, as well as also Randy McKay on the sidelines, and yours truly, Glenn Grunwald, along with Dan Nacarado. So long, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll talk to you on Monday when we do the freshman game and the JV game from Gowan Stadium. So long, everybody.
You've been listening to The Coaches Show on BW Radio. The Coaches Show has been brought to you by the Medicine Shop, 14th and Main. Thanks for listening to Salthawks Sports on KWBW Radio, 1450.